What's going on? I am Nando.
And I am DJ.
And I'm, there's so many accents I could do that would be really bad. And so I'm not going to do them. I'm Diggins.
You can't do a,
Yeah, aren't you in the clear? Or aren't you like, those are your people?
Oh, I'm trying to think of can you do a Susan Sarandon accent?
Oh, yeah.
Susan Sarandon?
She is your people.
Susan Sarandon's definitely my people.
Yeah.
She doesn't really have a distinctive voice. I feel like anything I do would just be a complete caricature that's not even remotely accurate.
Well, we're too far gone now, so, we could do the actual podcast or this for 2 hours, and I vote this for 2 hours.
I vote this for 2 hours also.
Yeah, so let's go. Give it to us.
Hello, my name is Susan Sarandon.
Fucking nails it.
Yeah. Do you know who that actor was going to be?
Who?
Because it wasn't originally Susan Sarandon. It was going to be Sharon Stone, and then I think she dropped out for some reason. And I assume they cast her because her name starts with 2 S's, because they replaced her with the other 2 S woman. I don't know what the thought process was, but they don't seem like super similar to me outside of that. But maybe that's what it was. Speaking of Susan Sarandon, well, no, she's not in this at all. Speaking of Sharon Stone, nope. Wait, I was right. Susan Sarandon is in this. Yeah.
You got it.
Damn it. Their wires are crossed. Speaking of one of them, we're going to talk about Blue Beetle eventually. That is the movie of the week. Very exciting. But before that, we have to talk about the news of the week. Things are bad, you guys. It's not good. It's bad.
Oh, no. I hate when those things are the thing.
It's worse than good. It's bad.
First Craven, and now this. The other hot movie of the summer or year of 2023 has been pushed to 2024. Dune Part 2 is apparently now not coming out this year.
Those bastards.
I can't believe they've done this.
I can. It's very believable.
I can and I can't. There's part of me that's like, I don't know. At a certain point, they're going to stop, right? You figure?
Stop what? Give good terms to the writers? Or
yeah.
No, never.
No,
They'd rather burn the whole thing down than pay anyone fairly.
I don't know if
it seems like.
I don't know if I've said this on this podcast or a different podcast, but I think they're gonna Margaret Thatcher this shit with the coal workers when they striked in the 80s and be like, bring it on, motherfuckers, we'll wait you out and we'll figure out other shit and you could just eat shit and die. I think that's their plan.
Oh,
Margaret Thatcher, baby.
I didn't know that happened. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, fucking the coal miners were like, no, fair conditions, and Margaret Thatcher was like, fuck off.
And Margaret Thatcher was like, get black lung and die, idiots.
I mean, listen, I think if the studios could give the writers black lung and actors black lung, they would do it. It sounds right up there, right out of their playbook.
Yeah.
It's it's weird because Dune was supposed to be the end of this year, and now it's not. I was pretty excited for it. Diggins, you know they're making another Dune movie?
Yeah, I had heard that, actually. Yeah, a Dune 2, a tune, if you will.
That's right, because you liked that first one, I think. You saw it, right?
I did see it, and I did like it. There might even be audio evidence of these facts somewhere in the distant past.
Do you guys think this will continue, or do you think this is the one of these that's going to get delayed and only one?
No, they're going to keep doing this. Because think about it. Well, because all right, if you have Zendaya in your movie, and Zendaya has a bajillion social media, Instagram, TikTok followers, you want her to promote the movie so that the kids will come see it. But if she's not going to promote your movie, then fuck it, just delay.
Sure, but okay. So I don't know if you saw this Blue Beetle news or reports, but I saw somebody say, I believe that they thought that maybe this was Ninja Turtles. I think they said it would 15% of the box office was kind of cut off because of the strike and actors not being able to promote the movie.
Okay.
Made that much lower. But if you're Captain Marvel, let's say, and you were going to have to compete with Dune, and now Dune is out, does Captain Marvel stay?
Ooh.
Because they're going to make up that 15% on more theaters and IMAX screens that they weren't going to have before. Eventually there's going to be one movie standing, and it's going to be if you want to watch a movie in November, December, it's Wonka or whatever. But like whoever that guy is, they stick around. So like, when does it end? I don't know.
Warner's very stupid. So I think they will delay all of theirs not doing that math. Maybe Marvel sticks it out for that reason. And maybe because the box office revenue like is worth it for them. But I don't know. I think if we've learned anything from this, it's that the movie studios are fundamentally stupid. Like they're acting in their own like disinterest. It's insane.
I love all the like all the people that they talk to who are like not Hollywood people, not people on strike, just like people generally involved in business who are like, yeah, even they who normally like 1,000 times out of 1,000 would be like, workers deserve nothing but the heel of my boot. Or like, yeah, I don't know what the AMPTP is doing. This is really stupid.
So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Can we like? It's just what I was thinking today. They're not like the kings of the studios, right? Like they're like the CEOs.
They were hired by the studios,
right? Do you think at a certain point they're just going to get replaced? Like if like Zaslav is the only holdout, do you think his board just goes, yeah, well, we don't want you to do this anymore, and they just get him out of there?
Well, that's interesting because the reason they were hired is because they promised all the studios, listen, like you don't have to do this. We'll take care of it. We'll ensure that you get to make as much money as humanly possible. But like all the negotiations are jokes. Didn't they not talk to him for like 100 days for like no fucking reason?
Something like that.
Like just hoping to starve the writers out.
Yep.
Like it's crazy, man.
They literally said out loud in like a leaked press thing where they're like, yeah, you know, once they start losing their homes and starving on the streets, then they'll accept our terms.
Well, they claimed that wasn't them on background. They were like, no, that was like a writer or actor saying that on background to make us look bad.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That is the trouble with writers and actors being the people you're striking against.
That's
the
true.
Writers can write really mean things for the actors to say, and the actors can pretend to be the CEOs and say it to people.
Yeah,
That's
and they'll be so convincing.
Yeah. You should check every time someone talks to one of these characters, a Zaslav or Bob Iger, just pull off their mustache and wig or whatever, just to make sure that it's them and not like Brad Pitt or something. I don't know who else. Who's like, I guess like it's got to be what's his name, Ron Perlman.
Yeah,
he's the one who's doing all the dirty work.
he's gonna burn all the executives' houses down.
Yeah.
Whoa, DJ. I mean, listen, he didn't talk anything about burning houses down. He's just saying. There's a lot of ways a man can lose a house, you know?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
There's flooding in LA right now. Your house could be flooded out.
Yeah.
That's right.
All kinds of things.
Earthquake, other LA thing from this week.
Yeah.
They can do that. There's a lot of options, a lot of ways that the earth can destroy things.
Yeah. Or Ron Perlman.
That's right. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that this isn't over yet. It seemed like it would be over by now, you know? But it's not.
Yeah.
Because I guess I thought it would be over by now because I figured the CEOs and those guys would be like, listen, we'll sacrifice, you know, I don't know, Barbie to this strike. Do you think Barbie performing super well was positive or negative for the strike? Or neutral?
It probably like I don't know how it helped the studios because it's not like they were like, see, we could just do it without you guys, right? Like there's probably proof it's like actually you probably need these writers and actors to do good work because everyone liked, you know, unless Greta Gerwig gets all the credit and they're like, look, the directors came to a deal, so you know, fuck you guys.
It's true. We just need to figure out how to put little hats and mustaches and wigs on them, and then they can do the whole movie without any actors. They're just directing themselves.
They might crush it, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that argument you're making makes sense, DJ, but the opposite of that argument, I definitely could see being held in the beliefs of some of them.
Yeah.
Of like, see, this movie made money and they're striking, so why would we need to change any of our behavior now? Like,
yeah, it's fair.
We got it. So,
well, the also thing too is like they might just be like, hey, like I think especially for Disney, who they're kind of in the like, where are we at right now? Right, like spinning off ESPN,
right? Like, and the potential Apple merger or whatever buyout.
and they're like, you know what would be great right now? Not spending money. You know what we're doing during this strike? Not spending money. So that's good.
That's true. Oh, the incentives are all over the place. I love it. Like the strike is bad, but it's such an interesting little thing where all the CEOs aren't even on the same page. Like some of them want to sell their company for scraps, and some of them want to continue working at it to make billions of dollars in the future.
That's true. They're all in different spots too, right? Because like Warner Brothers, like the media portion is like the biggest part of their business. That's not true for Disney. I think Parks is still number one.
Yeah, I mean, as much as Haunted Mansion tried, it couldn't wrestle that spot away from them with entertainment. Parks are still the king, and even beyond that, it goes. The order is parks, cruise ships, Lorcanas. What other things that people love about Disney? Ice creams in the shape of Mickey Mouse from the ice cream truck.
Yep, huge. That's true.
And then
Bluey's probably huge.
Is Bluey a Disney thing?
Well, they have the American distribution rights, so
wow. The black sites they lend out to the CIA. That gets them a lot of money.
That's right. All those portraits that they bought and are stored in the Vatican's basement because they're too profane.
All those portraits that they bought and keep offshore because they're too beautiful to pay taxes on.
Is that too? Yeah, exactly.
Cryotechnology, preserving heads in jars, right?
Lots of heads in jars.
Huge part of their business.
Yeah. So those things, and then the movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
And then even further down is Disney Plus, even as far down as you could possibly get. And so it's like they don't make that much money from it, but then you got guys like Paramount, Netflix, where it's like Netflix's whole thing, but also Netflix's brand is so trash. It's like they could just put out trashy, bad movies. Like we don't need writers for this.
Yeah, we got Heart of Stone.
Yeah, we'll just make the Love Show forever. Love is Blind for 50 billion seasons.
The Circle.
Oh well, the reality TV show people are
true.
In talks to unionize now too.
No, they're not. Are you serious?
Yeah, you didn't hear that?
And I'm like supposed to be plugged into reality stuff. Please fill me in.
I mean, I don't know all the details. I heard that, there was some negotiations were starting to maybe form a union amongst reality TV show performers.
So this would be like the actual people on the shows?
Yeah.
I'm not 100%. I want to look up before I say anything wrong.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it is. I've read about this a little bit. It's weird the way they're going to do the union, because they actually only get one person in the union, and they're all going to go on an island, and then going to compete in challenges and loyalties, and then eventually there will be the union guy or girl or person, whatever, and that person is going to be the person who collectively bargains, but everybody else just has to go with whatever that other person says, So to some extent, you want someone that's trustworthy, but on the other hand, you want somebody who's like a smooth operator. So who do you, who you put in that position? It's difficult.
It is performers. Yes, they are talking about unionizing.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, man! Look at America. Make America union again, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah! Hot labor summer.
Golden Bachelor union is different from the other unions. I want a different union for every show, because I do feel like the thing about reality television that's so weird to me is how much it's all intertwined, how much they're all like, this one's on this thing now, and then there's a new team up show with all 50 guys.
Yeah.
I want unions to be that complicated, where like you're like, is he in this union or that one now? I don't even know. But also, I guess they do, like, some of them act too. I guess they're only in the acting union when they're acting, because like the housewives, I'm assuming, appear on shows. Like on TV shows in some character. I don't know. You guys, speaking of shows and characters and stuff like that, this is a movie where people watch shows on the TV screen. Yeah,
it does happen. You're right.
A couple of times. So we're going to talk about that show. Not that show. Well, I mean, maybe it'll come up. We're going to talk about that movie, 2023's Blue Beetle, you guys.
The very first
one.
The third movie in the DCEU's Rise to Victory 2023 is one more left.
It is?
Well, yeah, Shazam, Flash, this, and Aquaman. I'm just talking about this year. There's 4 movies. Like we have this weird kind of death march of the DCEU happening.
Aquaman's definitely coming out this year. You're right.
Well, see, here's the thing with Aquaman. I actually do think it's coming out this year, because I don't think they want these movies to exist, but they have to.
Yeah.
So I think they could take a hit and bury Aquaman The same way I think they were okay with that happening with Blue Beetle because it is just too complicated.
Okay.
And if it's a hit, it makes everything so much worse, especially because there's rumors that Jason Momoa is going to play a different character in these.
I love it.
Like, he's going to be Lobo in the new one. So it's like, I don't think they want it to bomb necessarily, but I do not think they want it to be a humongous hit.
But
I don't know.
I thought it was confirmed that Blue Beetle is the first like Gunverse movie. It's the start of the new DCEU or whatever.
So it's complicated.
Okay, cool.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Blue Beetle, the character, will appear in the future movies, but this movie doesn't count.
And this actor, forgive me for forgetting his name.
Yes, Jolo Maridueña.
Okay,
is his
great.
character's name, or the actor's
He
name.
will be the Blue Beetle.
He will be Jaime Reyes. I hope so, or maybe he'll be Tigor.
Or
they'll just put a little mustache on him or whatever. But he's gonna be the character he was in this movie. I think we're getting basically. I think this is gonna be Netflix Daredevil on She-Hulk, where you go. He's like, somebody's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Blue Beetle. Here I had adventures. And everybody's like, what were they? And he's like, don't worry about it. And then we never really check on stuff. Because I think they're going to have to retcon at least 2 things that happened in this movie to make it fit into the bigger DCEU. So that's why I don't think James Gunn fully wanted to commit to the rest of this being part of it.
He's like, don't you remember? I defeated Carapax. It fucking happened.
Yeah. You heard about that. I have a family consisting of family members, and I dated a girl whose name we don't know. None of it matters, but I am young and kind of silly. I'm basically Spider-Man, so
because everyone needs
treat me like that.
Every one of these needs a Spider-Man.
Yep, we're gonna take a couple shots at Spider-Man in this universe. I'm the first one. We're gonna get Young Robin next, and then I don't know, maybe Swamp Thing. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm also kind of Shang-Chi a little bit in a way.
A little bit. How? Well, I guess the magic artifact thing.
The big one for me is that he has like female funny companion who is like there for him and knows the thing, but also like has a job with him while he daydreams and seems cooler than he is.
That intro at him is very similar to the intro where a guy hands his keys to Shang-Chi, who's actually the valet. Yeah, you're right.
It's the MCU, but it's the DCEU.
The DCEU, yeah, exactly. This is why James Gunn didn't want to do it. It's because he didn't want to have to deal with the ruining his acronym as well.
Right.
But yeah, we got Blue Beetle, you guys. It's directed by, God, I don't have it open. I want to say the director's name is Angel Soto, something like that. I'm going to look it up.
I think I remember that appearing on the screen after the movie was over.
That is where you usually find it. Sometimes it's in the beginning, if it's Quentin Tarantino mostly, and mostly it's at the end. Angel Manuel Soto. It's written by someone named Gareth Dunnett Alsoser. That one I'm probably not doing a good job with. But yeah, it's the big one, the next big one of these. Like I said, Sergio Maridueña, Bruno Marquinzi, and let's say George Lopez, I would say, is this third lead in this.
Something like that. Probably.
Surprising amount of George Lopez screen time.
Yeah. I was not ready for that.
Yeah.
Also, was not ready for him to be like a Blue Beetle fanboy. I did not see that's where that was going.
It seems like a fun thing to explore in a movie, but maybe next time. I don't know. But yeah, we'll talk about it. But before that, we have to do the IMDb. B is in spelling bee.
Oh my god!
Wow.
IMDb B is in Blue Beetle spelling bee.
Oh. So instead of being the IMDb keeper, it's the IMDb Beetle keeper.
Yeah, Beetle Master, Beetleborg, Beetle.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Bad Beetleborg.
Yeah. We got
the IMDb Big Bad Beetleborg.
And that is, I am that this week because I won last week because DJ heroically stepped on the landmine of being a good boy and it exploded in his face like it frequently does, much like it did to that guy from Bad Boys 2 when what's her name threw the gun at him. What was his name? He had such a catchy name. This is going to kill me. Danny something. You guys remember? They said it like a million times.
I know. It's just
Danny Trejo.
That's it.
Almost.
Yeah. It's a guy named
I love him.
This is not as far up on IMDb as I expected for this movie. Oh, Johnny Tapia. That's what it was, actually.
Johnny Tapia.
Yeah, Johnny Tapia. Anyway, you guys.
Johnny Tapia.
Blue Beetle. They have a summary. And this one's a weird one. because it doesn't make sense where you get it. Because you see what happens with this summary, specifically for this movie, is it showed up in the 1930s and somebody picked it up and went, "Ooh, look, this is a summary for Blue Beetle." And they showed it to some people and they were like, "That's an incredible summary." And then everybody kind of forgot about it. And then later it showed up again in a different place. And you're like, "Is that the same summary?" And the movie's like, "Maybe. We don't know. And we'll never find out because we're never going to get into the history of these movies." But that summary is taken to a lab, bombarded with chemicals and rays and the things that you find in a lab. And hopefully, if the IMDb president of IMDb, someone whose name I guess has the initials I, M, and D and B, who could that be? I don't know. The first name's probably Ingrid or Ishmael. Either way, that guy. They break the summary open it up, and then read the summary for the Blue Beetle movie. And it is the summary for the movie. This is official. It goes straight into the IMDb headquarters, and if somebody steals it, then we have to kill them. But you guys, I have it right now in front of me for Blue Beetle, 2023's Blue Beetle. I'll tell you this. It's pretty good. It's a good summary. So, it's as good as one of these has ever been. Okay. So, yeah, this is pretty much all you need. I think if you go for just an actual summary of this movie, one of you will probably get it.
All right.
Who starts?
I'm going to make Diggins start because then I'll just do it better.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Okay. After hold on. Okay. No. Thinking. Got it. All right. After after accidentally activating an alien artifact that gives him incredible powers, Jaime Reyes must use his abilities to save his family and stop a villainous CEO. All right, that's it. I'm ending there. That was bad, right. But I don't care.
DJ, what do you got?
All right. After reuniting with his family after college, young Jaime Reyes comes in contact with an alien technology known as the Scarab, becoming the Blue Beetle, where he must face off against the evil Cord Corporation from using the Scarab to enact its evil agenda.
Okay. We do have a winner.
Okay.
Incredibly.
Yeah. I need to, I wish I could listen to it again, because there's a thing that I'm pretty sure Diggins did not say.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure Diggins did say.
What?
Or DJ did say, excuse me.
Oh, okay.
I want to give it to DJ anyway, because you got another detail that I thought was pretty good that Diggins missed.
I think we can all decide together, though. I think we're an honest group here.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, I obviously can trust myself because I'm me. And DJ, since you have good boy points, you are definitely trustworthy. So it's really a question of whether Diggins is trustworthy. This is like a labyrinth situation where one host always gives the right IMDb summary information and one host always lies.
Yeah. So the only question is which one of us always tells the truth and which one of us always lies.
I mean, how many good boy points do you have, Diggins?
70,000.
Oh my God, that's the whole thing, though.
What?
He could be lying
Since
about
when?
it, DJ. This is the problem. We can only ask two. There's no physical good boy points.
Damn it.
Yeah. Well, all right.
This honor system's bullshit.
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give it to DJ because I do think DJ won. I wanted to do a tiebreaker, but we're not gonna do it because here's some details. So you both called him Jaime Reyes. DJ gave him recent college graduate status. That was important.
Damn. Nice.
You both called it an alien. I don't remember if Diggins used the word scarab, but that wasn't the word I was looking for.
I didn't say scarab.
Yeah. Diggins had something to the effect of extraordinary powers, so that was good.
Okay.
But DJ, I'm pretty sure you're the only one that called him the Blue Beetle, and
nice.
That was the kicker right there.
No one ever says the superhero name of these things because nobody says them in the movie.
I mean, that's fair. You're not wrong.
I'm going to read it to you. An alien scarab chooses Jaime Reyes to be its symbiotic host, bestowing the recent college graduate with a suit of armor that's capable of extraordinary powers, forever changing his destiny as he becomes a superhero known as Blue Beetle.
That's a good summary.
Is that
yeah,
one
I think it was
sentence?
pretty good. It was a big run-on sentence, but also it didn't get into any of the plot stuff.
Right.
It just kind of was like this kid becomes Blue Beetle. And by kid, 20-year-old or whatever. I don't know.
Sure.
22. He's 22. A college graduate.
Yeah, so like a kid to me and you. But I don't know. Is Jaime? Oh God, I don't know. I should look this up. If he's younger when they do this in the comics, but
in the
Joel
comics,
Dwayne is just too good. So
in the comics, he's a teen.
That's
I don't know.
What I thought. Yeah.
I don't know if actors was the reason they aged him up for this, or just general writerliness. They wanted him to have a sexy girlfriend, and it just made more sense for her to be an adult. I don't know.
And they wanted him to have come back to home after changes and like stuff. But then they could have just had him go to boarding school, high school. Like there's ways to go around it. Either way. Yeah, DJ, you did win. You want to do my tiebreaker? It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's a little bit of trivia. It's not about trivia for the movie. It's trivia about Blue Beetle. Because when I do trivias as tiebreakers, I try to find things that Diggins didn't read. However, you may know this. So I think this is a very gettable question for either of you. This is about the character of Blue Beetle, because the character is quite old and there's like all kinds of history and stuff. It was originally, it's weird actually. It was originally not a Charlton Comics character, and then Charlton Comics just started making comics about them, and then they got the rights to him, and then it went to DC and all that stuff. But before any of that happened, as the character was kind of popping off, someone asked the creator, what was the whole deal? What was the thought process behind Blue Beetle? And the creator of Blue Beetle said 2 words, blank, blank. And want to take a guess what those 2 words were? And obviously in this situation, he's talking about the Dan Garrett, like original Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
What was the question that was the prompt? Like, why Blue Beetle?
Where'd you come up with Blue Beetle?
Okay. All right. 2 words. Good psychedelics.
That's a good one. This is way before that, but that's something like that could work. Diggins, you have any guesses?
Insect Batman.
You're closer. I'm going to give each of you one more guess. So I think you could get this.
All right. 2 words. Lame Batman.
Incorrect. I don't think this character predated Batman, but he was right up there. Like the original Blue Beetle is definitely from at least the 40s, maybe the 30s. Okay. Diggins.
Okay. So I was closer, but it's not a Batman thing.
Correct.
Superman bug.
Incorrect. So here's what it was. By the way, yeah, this character debuted in 1939. The original Blue Beetle. Someone asked, "Hey, where'd you get the idea for Blue Beetle?" He said 2 words: Green Hornet. He just copied that character and was like, "Oh yeah, that's another guy you could make."
Jesus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I never thought of that before, but that is what it was. I'm surprised we don't have more. I'm surprised the Red Scorpion isn't a guy, and whatever the rest of them would be. This is the whole big Skittles rainbow situation.
Remember when Seth Rogen was the Green Hornet?
I do remember that.
Fucking
and he was like, and Christoph Waltz was the bad guy.
Yeah.
And his whole deal was his gun could fire 4 bullets at once or something like that.
Well, his whole thing is he came back after being away for a while and was genuinely confused that people didn't think he was scary anymore.
Yeah. We should do that movie one of these days. I watched it when it came out, but I've not seen it since then. Maybe it's good. I don't know. Yeah. We'll never know. But DJ, you won. Congratulations. As the loser, Diggins, I'm so sorry, but you need to give us the summary for 2023's Blue Beetle.
Oh boy. Okay, so we start the movie by seeing a bunch of news, like the Godzilla, the second American Godzilla movie. It starts with a bunch of news clips being like, here's a bunch of stuff that happened. This one doesn't blame the Spanish-American War on Godzilla, so it's not as good as that one.
Yeah.
But A bunch of stuff about there being Blues Beetle, like Dan Garrett and Ted Kord. And then Ted Kord disappears, and his sister Victoria Kord takes over his company, Kord Industries, and is like, I'm going to go back to doing a pre-Iron Man Tony Stark.
Yep.
I'm going to make a bunch of weapons for the military. There's even going to be a scene later where a person from a developing country sees the name of my company on a bomb and gets upset about it.
Yep.
Anyway, then the movie actually starts with Jaime Reyes' family, consisting of his parents, his sister, his grandma, and his uncle, picking him up from the airport as he's returning from college. But his joyous reunion is quickly dampened by the news that they are losing their house, and his father has lost his business. His dad is sick. He had a heart attack and he's not doing well. And rents are going up because their neighborhood's getting gentrified by Kord Industries. And just a whole bunch of stuff. Also, they're in the Florida Keys. I know you're thinking, Jaime Reyes is always in El Paso, Texas. Well, Now he's in the Florida Keys. Don't worry about it.
Was this like a Gotham City of the Florida Keys where it was a fictional place, or was it? Because I feel like they had a name for it. I couldn't remember what it was.
Palmyra. Yeah, it's not a real city.
Yeah, that's right. But I didn't realize it was in the Florida Keys. I mean, I missed that. It's dumb. Yep. Not dumb, but weird that they made that change.
Yeah, strange change considering Texas does have coasts if they really wanted it to be coastal.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anyway. So Jaime's very upset about that and is like, he was going to go to grad school, but he's like, or probably go to law school considering he did pre-law. It's like, no, I'm going to get a job here and help you pay off all the debt instead of getting us into more debt. But he doesn't get a good job. He gets a job cleaning Victoria Kord's estate, because people are racist.
Hey, does this remind you of a beat from another movie? I couldn't remember what this was, but do you remember?
Did we say it earlier?
No, well, not this bit specifically, but the bit where a character's like, I've got a college degree. I'll get a job. It's great. And then they're like washing dishes or something.
Oh, you're thinking of The Past 20 Years.
Yeah, there's one movie, I can't remember what it is, but where I'm like, there's a couple times in this movie, like your Iron Man thing, where I'm like, I've seen this bit before. And this was one of them, but I don't remember what movie it's from. Anyway, continue.
So while they're cleaning the place, his sister wants to go take a monster dump in the nice bathroom inside.
Yeah,
she really
go
does.
her.
This is a plot point.
This is a plot point. This matters.
Yeah.
And while Jaime is watching out for her, taking a monster dump, he overhears Victoria and her henchman, what is it, Carapax?
Carapax.
Threatening Ted's daughter, her niece, Jenny. And he kind of steps up and is like, hey, don't threaten her. And so he gets fired. And his sister also gets fired because she comes out from taking her monster dump at that exact moment. Jenny feels bad, so she's like, hey, text me and I'll try to help give you a job in Kord Industries. So he's like, she's a pretty girl and I need a job, so I'm going to do it. And he texts her and he goes to meet her the next day at the Kord Industries headquarters. What they were arguing about, by the way, because this is important, is Victoria is launching an old project called OMAC, One Man Army Corps. That is like basically like power armor, Iron Man suits for just that makes one soldier as good as an army. Whoa.
Yeah.
And Jenny's like, that's bad that you want to sell that to the army. And we shelved that project for a reason. And Victoria's like, I don't care. So Jenny has decided to sneak in with her, because she's technically a member of the board, so she has access to everything. Sneak in and steal the magical alien scarab that is where they're getting all the technology to build the OMACs. And she sneaks away with it. While Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows is eating a burger.
This is a very Gizmo move. It's just like,
Sanchez.
where's the thing? going? Oh no, they stole it from me. Gizmo, where's my scarab, you piece of shit? Like, I want a whole movie of that.
That's great.
Gizmo,
You were doing a wank, weren't you, Gizmo?
You were wanking off with your big belly burger.
Yeah.
You piece of shit. Get over here, Sanchez, right now.
Anyway, Jaime shows up at that moment while she's trying to sneak away with the scarab, and meets the most racist receptionist in the world.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her. That was rough.
Because he says out loud, "My name is Jaime Reyes," and her, not having it in front of her, not reading it out, is aware enough to know that that's spelled the same as the English name Jamie, and decides to call him Jamie.
Yeah.
Not an act of ignorance, active malice.
Can I make a confession here?
What?
I did not know that's how Jaime was spelled. I honestly did not know. I was like, oh, that makes sense. But I didn't know it in my head beforehand.
I mean, it's possible there's other ways to spell it, but yeah, that is the way that Jaime Reyes has always spelled it. And it's very, I wouldn't say it's a super popular, if I saw someone with the name Jamie on a piece of paper, I'd probably just default to Jaime. But if someone or Jamie, but if someone said Jaime to me, I wouldn't be like, I think you meant Jamie.
She's
right,
crazy racist.
That's why this woman's racist. Yeah, if she was reading it off a thing and said Jamie, I'd be like, she's ignorant, whatever. But he says Jaime to her. I
mean, it's a culture at that company too, because that boss would not stop calling Gizmo whatever she kept
Sanchez.
calling him. Yeah,
yeah.
It was.
Yeah, it feels
he's Sanchez.
It's as part of the onboarding when you get hired at Cord Industries. They're like, by the way, make sure you don't show any respect to Hispanic people. It's really one of our core values that we're as racist as possible to Hispanics.
It really is insane considering I guess we don't know technically what Blue Beetle 2 Ted Cord's whole deal was, but his daughter is there. She's in the room with you. None of you guys you're not even going to pretend. For 1 second, Susan Sarandon pretends to not be evil and not be super awful. But then immediately she's this was hard. I'm not going to do this anymore. Fuck you, everybody that's not white as me, the whitest person in this room. And she's pretty white in this movie. I'll give her that.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe she figures because Jenny is Brazilian, that's technically not the same thing.
Yeah, I was curious about this. I know the actor was the character
yeah, she says that she at one point says, I think, that her mom was Brazilian.
Oh yeah, you're right. I do remember that.
I mean, it is basically the same thing. It's just they speak Portuguese instead of Spanish.
Right.
Whatever. I don't know.
And there's no way this character would know the difference.
True. She'd be like all the Knives Out family. Just say a different country every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend Carapax. Were you guys from the same village or something?
So great.
I can't remember. Where is Carapax from? We learned this.
Colombia?
Guatemala.
There we go. Yeah, okay. Anyway, sorry, continue.
It's fine. Yeah, so he doesn't get a meeting, but he sees Jenny trying to rush out, and he's like, "Hey, you told me to meet you here." And she's like, "Did I? Whatever. Take this burger. Don't look at it and run away."
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right."
You say
he does that.
I'm desperate.
He takes it home, and his family's like, "This isn't a job." And he's like, "I don't know what to tell you." And they're like, "Well, what is it?" And he's like, "I didn't look at it because she said not to." And they're like, "What are you, an idiot?"
Yeah.
And then they open it and start playing with the magic alien scarab. The magic thing doesn't come up in this movie. I'm only saying it because of confusing comic book stuff.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
But this movie is very, very clear that it's just alien technology.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're tossing it around and goofing around, and Jaime's like, "Stop!" And as soon as he touches it, it comes alive and starts sucking his face.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
And then crawls up his butthole.
So as we find out.
Is that in fact what happened?
I mean, definitely not, but that's
what did happen,
I don't know, it burrowed into his skin?
I think
probably that.
I think it would have, because it can heal him, but I still think for that it would have been where can I go? Where can I go? Oh, there's something here. I'll just open this up a little
This
bit
is a
more
hole.
versus just like creating a new. Yeah, exactly. It would start with the butthole and then, but like
all aliens, it starts with the butthole.
exactly. And like all scarab thingies. This reminded me of that scene. Oh wait, you've never seen it. I always forget. There's a scene like this in The Mummy where a bunch of little scarabs just like fucking swarm a guy.
Yep.
And for
In
a second,
his
I'm like,
butthole?
well, like I get one, like it's a lot of them and they're little, so I bet one of them did go up his butthole.
Yeah.
I think that was part
At
of
least.
it. Yeah, I think it would be stupid if they didn't. You know, they don't have noses; they just see this wonderful little tunnel they can use for sure. Anyway, this is we're gonna do Mummy one of these days.
We have to just win the survivor pool.
Yeah.
Also, everyone enter the survivor pool. I put it on Discord, but we should probably tweet it out, right?
Yeah, how are we doing on that? Do we have a lot of people in it? I haven't looked.
Diggins, keep going, then I'll get an update.
Cool.
Okay. So they it burrows up through his butthole and turns his body into armor. And he's like, "Whoa, I'm a Power Ranger." And then he shoots up into the space.
Yep.
And then he falls out of space back down to Palmyra City or whatever they call it. And it stops him from dying. And then it does, and then it keeps saying it's done with its diagnostics and then does more stuff. Does that like 3 times or so. Splits the bus in half, does some other nonsense, flies around the city before finally taking him home by crashing through the ceiling and landing on a table. And his family's all freaking out because he's been gone all day and he's still an alien man. But it comes off his body, leaves him buck ass naked.
Yeah.
Glad they kept that part, realistic, the burning clothes thing.
Right?
Every time too.
Every single time. No, yeah, it's like, and I kind of respect the movie, for going through with this kid is like, fuck this again. Right. Every time he finishes blue beetling, he has another stupid problem he has to solve, but there's no way around it. You can't
Just
fix
Blue
it.
Beetle all the time.
That's right.
So they are so he wakes up and he sees that he's got a big old scarab on his spine and he's not happy about it. And his family's like, "We got to call the police," but then Uncle Rudy's like, "We can't call the police because some of us did not come here legally, and that would be bad.
Also,
and
they'll
also
lock him in a lab.
Also,
forever.
they'll probably experiment on him or something, and that's also bad." And I think, oh right, then so Jaime takes Uncle Rudy's truck and goes looking for Jenny, who he finds just kind of hanging out outside the building, I guess.
Yeah, he just bumps into her. Like it's real lucky.
Yeah, I think he goes back to Cord Industries and she's just sort of there, being chased by men with guns because Victoria has immediately figured out that she must be the one who stole the scarab. So they escape together in the truck. I forget if Jaime does any blue beetling in this scene.
I think he has to fight Carapax at the end of this scene.
No, he fights Carapax when they go to get the watch.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I'm going to say no then. No blue beetling.
Yeah.
Okay, so they escape. They do some sick-ass driving.
Sick ass.
They
And
get
what was
back.
the name of the car? I can't remember.
Oh, the taco?
It was Taco?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Taco. Yeah, that was it. They get back. The family's all mad at Jenny because she's the one who gave him the scarab, and she's like, "I didn't know this would happen. The scarab has to choose you. It hasn't chosen anyone since Dan Garrett, like 50 years ago or whatever." And she gives some backstory about how Dan Garrett gave her dad, Ted Cord, the scarab, and he couldn't get it to activate, but he studied it and learned some tech stuff from it, and he built a bunch of super cool tech that he used to be Blue Beetle, which technically we don't learn until a little bit later, but we all knew this, right? Like we all knew that.
We all knew this.
And then she's like, "I can help you, but we got to go get a watch from Cord Industries, so we got to go back there for the 3rd time." They go back. Uncle Rudy has something he built that just suppresses security systems.
Yeah, good for him, man. He's got it.
Because he's the Mexican Doc Brown, according to Jaime.
Yep.
And it does work. They're able to sneak in and get it, but because something is going wrong, all the security cameras just start playing it's a pretty popular and famous Mexican TV show that's like a parody of superhero stuff. I forget what it's called, but he's like a little cockroach man.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with that, but people in my theater were going wild, having a great time. So I assume it's a very popular real thing. It
is a very popular real thing in Mexico, or I think it might be a Latin American thing in general. Anyway, they when they're leaving after they get the watch because something went wrong, Carapax shows up with his prototype OMAC suit, and he has a big fight with Jaime, who lets the scarab take over because he still doesn't really know how to use it. And it keeps trying to kill Carapax, and Jaime is like, no, we don't do that.
And she's like, what? Get out of here.
And she's like, that's stupid. You're going to die.
Do that. Yeah, we fucking do that. I don't know about you, but we do that.
But it listens, and they don't kill him. But he gets beat up for a little while. He almost wins. And then Rudy and Jenny smack Carapax with I think they call it the Chapulín.
Yeah.
The thing that he made. And then run away. So they escape. They go to Ted Kord's old mansion, which is what the watch thing she got opens up his secret Blue Beetle cave.
Which, by the way, they had the Blue Beetle scarab. They could have gotten in there just like normal.
That's true.
Really need the watch. Could just like cut a hole with a laser or some shit. So it's watch bullshit. Anyway, sorry.
It's fine. El Chapulín Colorado is the name of the show. And it is a Mexican TV show.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not a fan of references that are actually legitimate. I want some surface level stuff that is for me specifically. So if they ever remake this, Speedy Gonzalez, that's as close as you can get to an actual thing. I
felt left out as an audience member.
Exactly.
So people were in my theater were laughing, and I didn't get it.
I was alienated. And I think everybody in this movie should pay me some money or something.
Yep.
I want recompense.
I actually was aware. Like I recognized it when it showed up. I haven't watched it, but I was familiar with the concept. So I guess I'm the only one who doesn't deserve recompense.
That's right. That's the thing. You know, you gotta stay ignorant to culture, and then eventually it'll pay off big time.
You gotta hear someone say Jaime and insist on saying Jamie.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is insane.
But yeah, so Uncle Rudy activates the computer and reads about the scarab while Jenny and Jaime talk about family. Did you guys know that this movie's kind of about family?
Get out of here.
You know what?
During the fight that they just had, Carapax at one point says, "Your love for your family makes you weak."
He did say that, and that was when I was like, all right, we're going to do that line then, huh? And then he didn't do it, and I'm like, oh God, that's like the last big line? We're way too far into superhero movies to have that be the last big line.
Well, he says that in that fight, and then in case you didn't get it, he says it again in the other fight.
That's true.
I know, right? Carapax really is like, you need to hate your family. That's your only option, dummy.
Yeah, so they're talking. Jenny's mom died when she was young, and her dad disappeared an indeterminate amount of time ago.
Yeah.
Just when I was a child ago, you know, one of those.
Well, she wasn't a child when her dad disappeared, I don't think. She was probably like a teen, I want to say. Because she's supposed to be like 22 now. She's supposed to be around. She's supposed to be around Jaime's age.
Yeah.
And they bond and almost kiss, and then right as they're about to kiss, somebody comes in with an inopportune thing, and then they don't kiss. And I'm like, wow, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
And then Jaime had a huge boner.
That's right.
Well, hold on. The scarab doesn't talk about his huge boner till later.
Well, no, he does like it's like a visual gag. He like pulls his like hoodie like over his like pants.
Right, because of his big bippus.
This is giant. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, Uncle Rudy's like, I got bad news. We can only take the scarab off if you're dead.
Sorry,
and
bro.
He's
Tough
like,
break.
that's bad. So Jaime gets upset about that. But then they see Victoria's helicopter going over towards the Reyes residence. And Jaime's like, I gotta go save the family. And he activates the scarab by jumping off the roof of the Cord estate.
Right.
Thank God it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been real embarrassing otherwise.
So he flies over there. The Reyeses are getting arrested by, I mean, like paramilitary, right? Like they're not the cops.
No, yeah.
They work for Victoria.
They're Cord goons, but yeah, what is like? I guess Cord is
But
like
They're like Wayne Enterprises or Stark Industries, right? Like
they're like military contractors, I think. So they don't like have authority, I don't think.
No,
but these guys are acting like cops. Like they're saying like, you know, come out with your hands up. You know, you're under arrest. Like they're saying stuff like that.
But who's gonna stop them, Diggins? I mean, they're in a dingy part of town.
They're not acting any more aggressive than the actual cops would. So I mean, it's not like it's an unbelievable performance.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the family's getting arrested and they're getting terrorized, and then Jaime shows up and does big fight and tries to save them. But the stress of the whole situation makes his dad have another heart attack, and he dies.
Yep.
I think Jaime chases them off. I don't think they capture anybody.
No, this is when he gets captured.
Oh, right. No, you're right. They use the claw and they capture Jaime.
The Jaime claw.
Yeah.
Lucky they had it.
Claw.
Right. And then the family's left behind and they're like, oh no, what are we going to do? We can't save Jaime. And then they're like, we will save Jaime because we're the Reyeses and we've got to. And Jenny shows up and is like, I can help.
Thank God she did, because I don't think there was a fucking plan.
Yeah.
Probably not.
George Lopez would have chucked stuff at it with the car. They would have done more quick spins and thrown stuff out the back of the truck. And if that didn't do it, then they're fucked. Sorry, Jaime, you're dead.
Yeah, so she gives them all the old stuff that her dad made to be Blue Beetle. So they got the big dumb Beetle VTOL and everything. And they go to bust him out, and it turns out Nana was a revolutionary, and she knows how to plan a fortress assault and use guns. And
not just guns, like Commando, like
fucking,
Arnold Schwarzenegger guns.
Yeah, like
I don't know a lot
mini
about
gun.
revolutionaries, but if that was part of it, that is incredible. Like just
also the
mowing
movie
down fields of guys.
The movie very carefully never says where she was a revolutionary because there is literally no like believable option that does not include her fighting back a US-backed coup.
Yeah.
I mean, unless she was a Contra, I guess, but that would be pretty dark.
I mean, you guys, I'm sure the right answer is she was in Corto Maltese or something like that. You know? that was the one of these she was in or something. One of the 50 like fake. She's in Sokovia. She had the raid on Sokovia. That was her.
She was in that country where Bane took over the prison or whatever.
Yeah. Oh man, what was that one called? I can't remember. I think it's such a mess. But yeah.
Yeah, so they go in, they bust some heads. Meanwhile, Jaime is like strapped to a machine that is taking out all of his scarab juice for all that sweet scarab data.
He's getting milked.
Yeah, it's getting milked. The second movie of the summer where they milk the guy.
He's getting milked for all his sweet scarab juice. And Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows is like, that's going to kill him. And Susan Sarandon is like, I don't know how I could be any clearer about the fact that I don't give a shit.
Yeah, right.
And it's going to kill him, but it can't kill him too soon. It's got to kill him just at the right moment.
And then just to throw the cherry on top, she's like, by the way, if he does survive the process, then kill him anyway.
Kill him, yeah.
Just like, really got to be clear that I want this child to die.
To be fair, he's not a child. He's an adult, so, you know.
Yeah, you know what? Young adult. I want this young adult to die.
Yeah, I wonder, how did Gizmo get that far into the evil organization to this is his first killing or something? Like, maybe
Maybe it's his first direct killing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before it was like, close your eyes and be like, oh, it's okay.
Maybe she's an Amanda Waller type and she kills all her guys at the end of the mission too. So this is also his
yeah.
first mission or something, because this
It's
happened
protocol.
last time.
Yeah.
Could be.
So we're not killing all the time.
Anyway, while Jaime is dying and getting milked, he has hallucinations / ghost dream, where his dad comes to him and is like, "Hey, I love you and I believe in you, and you don't gotta be a super special guy for me, you know." Sorry, you go.
That I was gonna say that was the second. You can't die yet.
Oh
ghost
my
dream
god!
Of the summer.
Second one of those, and second, alien finger touches guy finger, like the Sistine Chapel. Like,
Damn.
the amount of movies that are in this movie is incredible. Like, it is truly like the Blue Beetle, where there was a movie and then all the movies of the summer burrowed their way up its butthole and then have empowered it to become this mega movie. Because, yeah, I could not believe when that happens in a second time this year.
Yeah,
because James Gunn adjacent thing.
That's
too,
true, yeah. Yeah, he was probably just watching the first cut of this, like, oh, you good boy. I don't want to tell him. Maybe don't have him go to the Shadow Realm to talk to his loved one. Tell him his story's not over yet or whatever. I don't know. I just think that's going to be a big deal this year.
Oh, man.
But yeah, as Nando alludes, the scarab is there and it's like, we must accept each other. And so they do the Sistine Chapel finger touch and they finally fully merge.
Yep.
And so Jaime tries to bust out and Guillermo decides he's had enough and like helps him escape and then locks the door behind him before getting brutally murdered by Carapax.
Yeah, for a second I was like, man, I don't want this character to get a redemption arc, and he didn't. He got a redemption moment and then got murdered. I was like, cool. Yeah. Like that felt like earned to me.
Mm-hmm.
He also got to say his full name, which is apparently the same name as Gizmo on the show, or at least
at least the last name, De La Cruz, is his last name in What We Do in the Shadows, and it is last name here.
Yeah, good for him. It's pretty cool.
Anyway, so Jaime doesn't really take advantage of the chance Guillermo gave him. It was really a wasted sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because Carapax immediately busts down the door and starts chasing him.
Yeah.
While his system is rebooting, so he can't do his cool Beetle stuff yet. So he runs away. Meanwhile, Jenny and Jaime's sister get separated, and Jenny gets captured by Victoria and brought on her big helicopter. And while that's happening, Jaime and Carapax have a big fight, and it goes on for a while. Jaime makes the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII. And then he gets really mad because he knows Carapax like indirectly killed his father. And so when he starts winning, after a big long fight, he's like gonna kill Carapax, and the scarab this time is the one like, hold on, Jaime, wait, and stops him from killing him, and then shows him Carapax's tragic past, which it wasn't clear to me until he kind of implies later that he does not remember himself.
Yeah.
Basically, he was a child in Guatemala. His mom and his home were blown up by a Cord Industries bomb. He was recruited to be a child soldier by Victoria, who apparently is like 20 years older than him.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
I mean, the Carapax machine or whatever, the OMAC machine makes you age like a motherfucker. Like you know. I
guess.
That guy's 20. Like Carapax is 20 in this movie. And it's just like, it's like smoking 50 cigarettes a day. Your skin, you're a mess. Don't do it, kids. Don't take the OMAC serum or whatever it is. The OMAC computer.
Don't have an OMAC system integrated into your spine.
I know it looks cool, and the kids on the playground are going to tell you to become an OMAC man, but it's not worth it. You smell weird. Everybody doesn't like the smell of it. Whenever you walk in a car, it's like, ugh, he's been OMACing again. It's not cool.
Yeah, so it shows him as tragic. The guy gets recruited to be a child soldier, gets trained in the School of the Americas, a really infamous like place where like Contra types were trained. It was very, very, very bad. And he was a soldier. He stepped on a landmine and blew up, and apparently was conscious enough during his cyborg surgery to hear Victoria being like, I literally don't care if he lives or dies.
Yeah.
And that's how he became Cyborg Carapax Man. And so Jaime doesn't kill him and goes, I know you've said twice now that my love for my family makes me weak, but actually my love for my family is what makes me strong. And you might be thinking, I'm doing that thing where I boil down a thing to its base element. That's literally the line. That's what he says out loud with his mouth.
That is the line. And if you don't believe us, watch the trailers.
Yeah, watch the trailers where they put both of those lines in.
Yep.
Anyway, Jenny, meanwhile, has blown up the helicopter with her special chewing gum that expands. And Victoria is like, I'm mad and I want you to die. But Carapax is like, I don't listen to you anymore because I remember now that you made me a child soldier and then a cyborg and everything's your fault. So he blows himself up while he's dragging Victoria into a fire. And the Reyes and Jenny fly away in the Beetle VTOL. And then they have a block party / wake for the dad, where Jenny shows up on a motorcycle and is like, I'm going to pay for your stuff, your house and your car and whatnot, because I'm super rich and I feel bad about all this. And me in the theater is like, good, I was waiting for that, because if you weren't going to do that, that would be insane.
Yeah.
That would be insanely ungrateful of you. And then they do a big kiss, and the scarab is like, Jaime, you've got a huge ass boner right now.
Yeah. Show that dick, bro.
Yeah.
Jaime, my sensors indicate that you would like to tap that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they fly away, and that's the end of the movie. Except, wait, post-credits scene.
Oh my God.
There's a message on a computer from Ted Cord, Jenny's dad.
What?
Ted
He's
Cord.
alive.
Ted Cord is alive?
Ted Cord is alive, and he's doing something important, but he doesn't really say much about it.
Say that twice again. I want to hear Ted Cord is alive? What?
Ted Cord is
But
alive.
He died in the movie before it started.
Well, no, they actually never say died. They say he disappeared. Victoria at one point is like, he's probably dead, but nobody ever says he's definitely dead.
Well, she didn't listen to the computer yet, so she doesn't know. But
Right. And then in the second post-credit scene, we see the little animated bit of El Chapulín Colorado again.
yeah, I don't know what the story, I don't know what the correct balance is for these. I do think the second post-credit scene has to be important. Otherwise, everybody in the theater hates it. Like, I don't know if this was your theater experience, but my whole theater was like,
Oh, everyone
they
except
feel
me
tricked.
and one other guy who knew Chapulín Colorado because he was excited by it had left.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's the way to do it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything we missed. Yeah, that's really all there can be. It was all those things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
good night, everybody.
So DJ,
All right, we did it, guys.
as the
Well,
winner
yeah,
of
DJ,
the
yeah.
IMD Beetle Beesman, what did you think
Yeah.
of Blue Beetle?
Okay. I overall liked this movie. I, as someone who's been a DC skeptic for, I think, good reason, thought that this movie accomplished its thing. I like that it didn't mire us in too much of like a big backstory thing. Although it was weird at the very beginning of the movie. Well, I can't even remember if this was part of the recap, but they're drilling into a sphere, presumably like looking for the scarab. Like, I don't think we needed that. That felt kind of excessive.
I also don't think it makes sense. Like it doesn't seem congruous with what we hear about the scarab after that.
Right? Yeah.
Did Ted Cord put it in that? Like,
Yeah.
It seems like that showed up from space recently. That's why we're drilling into it. So
Right.
what's in there? I don't know.
Yeah. But nitpicks aside, which we'll get to. It was overall good. I enjoyed the acting. I actually enjoyed the family bits, as like cheesy as it was. I actually really liked George Lopez. I thought his character was very fun. I liked Jamie. I thought Jamie was great.
Incredible.
Can't help
And
himself.
I'm like, I think what held this movie back for me is that it a lot. All right, so I'll give my biggest thing. I didn't love what was the name of the Blue Beetle, the fucking AI, whatever.
Kajida, I think is the
I
name.
didn't love Kaiju. I thought so. I have very little Blue Beetle exposure. Most of mine comes from watching Young Justice, where it's like, oh, Jaime Reyes, stop being such a bitch. We're gonna kill all these people. Like the much more aggressive, Blue Beetle that
It's like,
Jaime has to really like tamp down.
It's like a poison in his mind,
Yes.
or like a toxin or something like that. I'm
Yeah,
trying to think of another
venom-y,
word.
right?
Yeah, exactly, something like that.
Yeah,
It's corrupting the system.
got like the symbiote vibes, right? But this one, it was just kind of like Tuesday from Iron Man, with like 5% more personality, or Friday from Iron Man.
I thought you were saying Tuesday is like, this is Tuesday. This is Friday at home.
AI a day of the week. Friday.
Yeah, what a loser.
Yeah, fucking idiot. So I think that was, for me, was like the biggest thing. But I will admit that is minor. But like, I think overall, this movie is a success. Just gets held back by some of the story beats that just like, I think like we'll talk about it a bit incongruent, and it's just like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. But it's fun, which is actually nice. It's not like this like deep, sad, dark, gritty. Oh, we got a Blue Beetle. He's got to be gritty. It's like, no, we'll have me Spider-Man. It's fine. So I think like overall good. So yeah, that's what I thought. Great review, isn't it, everybody? Diggins, what did you think?
I think if this movie had come out 15 years ago, we would be like, wow, this is a really good superhero movie. We haven't had a superhero movie this good before.
Yeah.
As is, it's like, I don't want to say it's rote, because rote has more negative connotations than I really mean. It feels very standard in a lot of ways for like superhero origin story, but it at the same time feels notable because it does it kind of well in a way that a lot of them don't anymore. Which is to say, I thought this movie was okay. Like, I had a good enough time with it. I don't think it has any like huge glaring flaws or anything. I do think the family stuff is more fun than the superhero stuff, just because that feels a little more lived in and a little more original, whereas all the superhero stuff is more on the your love for your family makes you weak side of things, where I'm kind of like, I mean, there's nothing technically wrong with this, but also come on. So yeah, I mean, I guess I ended up being kind of middle of the road, leaning positive, where it's like, it's a fine movie. It's, if you are interested in seeing it, then go ahead. But I don't think it's the kind of miracle that the DCEU needs to turn this ship around.
Yeah.
What about you, Nando? What did you think?
I mostly agree with both of you guys. I think this movie's okay at like in the context of like all the rest of these. It's definitely not the best superhero movie this year, and it's definitely not the worst.
Yeah.
It honestly might be like the second best. Well, no, third best, I guess. But it is just like on its face, all the parts of it work, and the movie itself works and is good. But it is so it's tough to get super psyched about the parts of it that are like stuff that we've seen before. I think overall, I think it's good. I think this movie is good, but you know, I would understand why if I told someone what I just told them, they'd be like, I don't want to see that movie. I wouldn't be like, but it's good. I'd be like, yeah, you know, it's probably it's what you expect. But I do think like in the era of like, I'm trying to think of what this feels like. It's not like, I don't know, but it's like you could make movies that are this and they're good. I do think the fact that DC has 4 movies this year really ain't helping it. And I think the fact that they're resetting all this stuff is also not helping it. But I think that's for the best. But yeah, I don't know. I liked all the actors. I like George Lopez. I think Susan Sarandon's weird. I think the bad guy's not that great. The other one, like, he's fine, but like, I don't know. They were just kind of Iron Man, you know, Obadiah Stane types. honestly, the part of the movie that got me the most excited was the Ted Kord stuff. When we started fucking around in Ted Kord's weird lab of 90s stuff, I was like, ooh, this is something. And I don't think we needed to have a Ted Kord movie instead of a Jaime Reyes movie, but it does make me kind of want a superhero movie set in the 90s as a period piece where the superhero hat, like, it reminded me that the marketing for this movie and like the title of the movie is in that kind of blue splashy 90s font that you would associate with like something that is more of a like a throwback and making fun of that. And like I said, I don't think this should have been that, but it did make me a little bit more like, oh man, I would like to see that movie too. Like a Power Rangers kind of style movie, honestly, would kind of be what it would have to be, where like everybody's wearing big white shirts with big old blue button down shirts over them, and just, you know, it's kind of like what the Transformers movie should have been. But yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I don't know. What was your guys' favorite part?
It's like I saw this movie, you know, within like the past like 5 days. I should have a favorite part. I'm like really struggling with it. Honestly, it's like really cheesy, but I liked at the end of the movie where just like it's so bad because it's not the Jaime Reyes part, but the family's just in like the big blue Beetle mobile and they're like going over the plan, and like Nana's like, yeah, we're gonna fuck shit up. Like I really enjoyed that. Like I don't know if it's like my favorite, but it was definitely the most memorable.
Well, it's because
for me,
you love it when things fart all over.
I fucking love when things fart, bro.
Yeah, and this thing
is nothing
the
better.
fartingest movie of 2023.
As the father of a small child, there's nothing in the world funnier to you than a fart.
Yep.
Big facts.
Did you guys know, I feel like we may have talked about this, Barbie was supposed to have a really big farting scene that got cut?
Really?
Yep.
It's because Greta Gerwig was like, farting can't be funny because I'm a woman.
No, yeah, it's been described as the fart opera. I don't really know what it is beyond that. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. But yeah, this could have been the year of the farts, but it wasn't. But only because I'm guessing Warner Brothers is cowards or something.
Yeah, we're worse for it.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What was your favorite part?
I liked.
Exactly.
What was my favorite part? I don't know.
My favorite part was when that receptionist was so racist.
That part was hilarious. Like there were some parts that were so funny hard. In that, like they were like, again, like you were saying with the Shang-Chi thing. There were moments that I'm like, that's a good humorous superhero movie moment. I mean, we've seen it a couple times, so by now I'm like not super into it. But like, I don't know. I do think some of the stuff with George Lopez just being a weird conspiracy theorist was fun. I would say, well, we'll get to the nitpicks, but some of that doesn't quite line up for me. I'd say my favorite part, I like the fight between Blue Beetle and Carrot, the first fight. I think the second fight was a little, Colossus and Juggernaut punching each other, and the end of Deadpool 2. Like, but the first one felt more kind of tactile, and like guys were throwing each other around and stuff. I don't know. I thought that worked.
There needed to be some other level up with the Carapax besides just like, oh, the Olmec is like so much better now. There needs to be like some other like weird twist. Like if he like, I don't know, like literally like extracted like some of the Blue Beetle from Jaime somehow, and like Jaime wasn't just like in reboot mode. Like there had to be something where like Jaime needs to use like some cleverness to like beat Carapax or weaken him and get like the Blue Beetle back. You know what I mean?
Right. And this was the thing that I did think when I was watching the movie, when they started doing Blue Beetle, or when they started doing Jaime stuff, when they were like in his room and like when he was hanging out with his sister, I was like, oh, it is going to be fun to see this character just doing his daily day. Cause then we're going to see what he eventually will turn into Blue Beetle stuff, right? Like, oh, he's going to be watching, like Naruto or something. And then later he's going to have that, and it's going to be playing Final Fantasy, and that's where he's going to get the sword from. But they didn't do any of that. And I think that was weird, because that would have been a fun way to give this kid way too much personality. But it pays off in the movie. I don't know. I liked him. I liked this stuff. You know what? I agree with you guys. I like the family stuff. I liked when he came home from college and they were all weird at him and stuff. That was good.
Or when they dropped him off for the job.
Yep.
Like,
and they were all weird at him. Yeah, that was fun.
It's so much more of like an ensemble piece in that way. Like it, and I guess it like makes sense for what they were going for, because like the movie was just like oh my god, isn't family so great? But like,
Wait,
there's no
DJ,
like,
this movie was about family?
oh my god, right? But like, I think that there's no like individual moment where I'm like, oh yes, Jaime did this like really amazing thing. It was just kind of, I don't know, Diggins. I don't think you're wrong when you're like, it was like parts of it were rote, like, because I get those vibes, or I got those.
Yeah.
So
It feels like the superhero stuff is kind of rote, and then
Yeah.
the non-superhero stuff has a lot more personality to it.
yes, yes, which is like fine for a superhero movie, but then at the end it should just be like punch, punch, bang, bang. There has to be some other way where like he had to do something to like, you know, figure out or like.
If there was some way in which the love for his family made him strong, then I think that would have. Because I mean, like, you know, to be a little unsilly about it, I mean, like, they really didn't have anything to do. He just got mad and then punched Omak really hard.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
there was that one part where George Lopez sacrificed himself to distract the Omak, but then he didn't sacrifice himself, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, it didn't. All the stuff with his family didn't really have anything to do with how he resolved the climax. It was just kind of just beyond the idea of being a motivating factor.
Right.
So it would have been cool if there was a little something more with that, if it was like something he'd learned from them, or they were like supporting him in the final fight in some way.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, see, it's weird because you get that moment there, but then also the movie has to, like, by that point, it's pretty clear the Carapax is going to be sympathetic good guy mostly, or like, you know, not a full bad guy.
He's going to have his Vader moment.
Exactly. So you can't, like, I guess you could do the family fighting him and then that like kicks his brain into gear or something. But
yes. Yeah. And it's weird because like he was rebooting, but there was like no timer. It's like, you ready yet? She's like, yeah, we're getting there. You know, I'm still waking up. Hang on.
Yeah.
I told you to run from the claw, but you didn't. That was the other thing too. This movie had a lot of things like the claw that were just things that happened that caused something with no explanation. Like, why did the claw disarm the beetle? That doesn't matter. Like,
anti-beetle
it
claw.
had anti-beetle juice.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's pretty clear.
So,
I don't know. That was confusing because they said
just like stuff like that.
Claw,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just what it keeps it. It keeps it good, not great. Is basically what happens then, which like is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you guys got any nitpicks? I have some nitpicks from the Discord.
Oh,
that,
the Discord?
The Discord.
The Cord
yes.
Discord, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the main one is just that what happened to the scarab, though, for real. Because
yes,
I still don't understand it. Because they say Dan Garrett found it in Egypt or something, which is the usual Blue Beetle backstory. And then he died, and Ted Cord, his student, got it and then studied it, couldn't use it, made his suit after it. And then something. The suit is now in the middle of this big old orb thing.
Big sphere.
Yeah.
Big old sphere.
I mean, guess, do we know that that's the scarab? Maybe they just found something completely unrelated in there.
It's possible.
Black Beetle. They found Black Beetle.
They could have found Black Beetle, yeah. That's
See, that would have been an interesting like twist if they the whole time had the Black Beetle and it couldn't activate, and then it activated on Carapax for like some reason. Like that could have been something. I don't know. Might have been too much.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, do we think they're gonna do any of the Reach stuff?
I mean, if they're going to, they don't seem to want to. Like, I feel like they would in a second one if they made two of them, but like, I don't know. I also think in a post like Invincible world, it's not quite as. This movie really should have come out like 10 years earlier because a lot of the ideas that it was going to have fun with have kind of been done already.
It's very true.
I also think I think the way it usually works is the scarab is a like it got bonked on the head or something.
Right.
And that's why it doesn't want to conquer Earth, but otherwise it would.
Yes.
So like
it got Goku'd.
Yeah, exactly. So then if they don't, I guess they could say that it's like it, but it just doesn't seem, I don't know. It doesn't seem even a little bit untrustworthy or like mean.
Right.
It's
or has any kind of personality.
yeah.
Other than he kept recommending lethal force at the beginning, but
Yeah.
A, that's because they were fighting Carapax, who was trying to kill him. And B, every time he was like, no, don't use lethal force, it listened.
Yeah, also, I feel like movies got to figure this. Like, they have to decide, do we use lethal force or not? Because they may be Jaime in killing those people, but I'm pretty sure all those people that got sat on by the big bug robot didn't make it out of there. Like,
oh yeah,
George
One of the ones
Lopez
that got
killed
stabbed right
1,000
through the
goons.
chest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Nana Reyes definitely murked those guys.
right.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of want
Fuck
her to
them
sit
up.
down with Jaime afterwards and be like, "You got to get over yourself, buddy, because we're gonna
Yeah.
have to fight some aliens, and you're gonna have to rip their heads off."
Listen, sometimes when you're fighting the Contras that were funded and trained by the CIA,
Yep,
you have to be willing to do some murders.
that's right. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. What other nitpicks were there? I don't love the. Not I don't love. I loved the Blue Beetle Ted Cord thing. I don't think it quite fits. Like
Yeah.
the fact that he is that there is a Blue Beetle character that George Lopez's guy knows, and then his son or not son, nephew comes home with a blue beetle scarab and puts it on and gets superpowers, and George
Yeah.
Lopez doesn't go, this isn't quite like that guy from before, but you know who this kind of reminds me of?
Yeah.
Blue Beetle. Like
Like, at the very least, man, big coincidence that there was a superhero
Right.
called Blue Beetle.
From
and
this
there's a
city.
super scoured Blue Beetle.
Yeah. Like, and like in theory, there was another Blue Beetle guy who showed up first who was a lot more like this because he had
Right.
the scarab powers. Like, it's like back in the day, he just did look like the Green Hornet or like some guy in a suit. But like,
Yeah, no,
maybe in
back
this
then it's
universe,
Holding it made him
Right.
like big strength and whatnot.
yeah.
That's how it worked in the Dan Garrett comics.
But yeah, like I feel like the way he describes it's like, you haven't heard of the Blue Beetle? It's like, I feel like you should have definitely talked about this yesterday, my guy. Like,
Yeah.
and also, I do think it's weird in a movie where they're like, we can't call the cops. Call Superman or something.
Right. And all references, right? We didn't talk about that, but they're all in this movie as references, right?
Yeah, like I'm fine with referencing them and not showing them, but also like at this point in this universe, this does seem like when one of these shows up, he'd call somebody.
Well, but like, how would they have Superman's number?
Go on the news. I don't know. Find the Flash. Find Batman. Find who's the most public one of them.
Or make that joke from the Moon Girl animated show where it's like, they're not going to help us. We're fucking, like minority. That's,
Yeah,
Justice League, that's for white people.
that's right. Batman's a fascist, you guys.
If that
Yeah, right.
line hadn't been in the trailers, that might have gotten me.
Yeah. That's the thing with this movie. There was a lot of things. If the grandma thing hadn't been in the trailers, I think I would have liked it more in the movie, but it just felt kind of, everything in this movie felt like, oh yeah, that's why the Blue Beetle, like the Ted Cord stuff felt so fun, was because most of it wasn't in the trailers.
Yeah, that's true.
Power
Yeah.
Glove, all the 80s stuff, like that was new. But I don't think it seems like Warner Brothers did not expect to make money on this movie, and they didn't.
Mhm.
But like
Yeah.
that was never the plan. The plan was to kind of bury it so that they could be done with these. So at that point, just put nothing in the trailer.
Yeah, go for
Don't
broke,
expect
yeah.
anybody's going to see it, and then it gets an amazing review because everybody leaves it with their mind blown. What about you guys? Do you guys have any other nitpicks or things like that?
So this is like a nitpick, but this is one that came up on the Discord a bunch. So right before the dad says
Oh.
goodbye in like the weird, death dream or whatever, he makes like a really weird face. Do you guys remember this?
No, but I saw this post as well. I was curious if anybody had a picture or something from when you all took out your phones in the movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and we're not quite
And took a
VOD
flash
yet,
photo,
but
yeah.
I mean, like, listen, we could talk about it, but my theater was like a mess. Okay, let's talk about it. There was a woman sitting in front of me for the beginning of the movie. She's had her phone out during like the trailers and stuff. So I'm like, the trailers don't count for me. If you're talking during the trailers or whatever, like I don't like it, but that mean maybe you'll be cool. And there were a couple of people that were on their phones and then put them away when the movie started. She put her phone away, face up, screen fully bright on the seat next to her, like just sitting there.
Absolutely incredible.
It was insane. I had to go down and be like, hey, will you please turn your phone off? And she was like, oh man. But like, it just, I don't know how people go to movies and don't have that, just have so much stress about stuff like this being the guy with the phone. Like,
Right.
no way I would ever do that but just because I don't like it when people can see my phone. Like, I don't know. Things are weird. What were your guys'
Very
theaters like?
I had a pretty chill experience. Yeah. Nothing really to note.
Did people like it? Was it full? How many people were there?
There were a lot of jokes that like I went over my head. Like a lot of the Spanglish stuff. Like there were people like going like, this is like the funniest thing ever. And I'm like, I guess it is. Yeah, probably. So I think that's good overall, right? You know, again,
well, again,
I get reparations,
it has to be nice to us.
You know.
Yeah. If it doesn't appeal directly to me, I don't think it's good. But I'm happy
That's
for those
true.
people that it did appeal to. That was good for them.
Mm-hmm. Even though they don't deserve anything.
I mean, they get one every 500 movies, I guess. That's the rule. Like,
Okay, that's pretty.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's pretty generous.
yeah. There haven't been 500 superhero movies this year. It kind of
feels like it.
Yeah. You could convince me there were 5 Shazam movies. I don't know. At this point, yeah, they all just continue forever. Did any of the rest of you probably saw my tweets? So it's probably not as funny of a thought. Did any of the rest of you think what's her name looked a little bit like Hillary Clinton for the whole movie all the time?
Yeah. I saw that.
It's a look. I don't know. Susan Sarandon hates Hillary Clinton. She does. Like, I know that. But I don't know if she got to choose the hairstyle, but it seemed intentional.
There's just some digs going on there.
Yeah, like, I'm an evil, like kind of, I don't want to say girl boss, because that's not quite what this is, but like, in a pantsuit doing war crimes. You know who I should look like? Hillary Clinton.
She's kind of gaslighting, gatekeeping, and girl bossing.
That's true. And there was even that moment where they were like, I forget who said this, but someone was like, kind of, I guess it was like, I didn't get to take over the company. Why? And then someone else, because of sexism. And then it's like, that was part of it, I guess. The other part was you kept wanting to create a paramilitary police state. So sexism's not great, but I do think you probably there are other reasons.
Oh, I love that, because that's not Victoria talking, that's Jenny and Jaime talking.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So Jenny is like, yeah, my aunt and my grandpa worked really hard to build up Cord Industries, and then when my grandpa died, he left it to my dad instead. And Jaime's like, wow, that sounds like and she's like, a lot of sexism. He's like, yeah. And then like the implicit next line is like, but I mean, it was a good thing though.
Yeah.
Because my dad was a good person.
My dad was a good person, and she is super evil.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of kind of like her going like, I feel like this happened. I can't remember if this happens. It feels like it might, where like the movie almost gets at like, this is why she's doing that. It's because she got passed over all those years ago, and she's like, I got to make a Carapax. That's all I want to do in life.
If I make a Carapax, everyone will finally realize that I'm cool and good.
Yeah, and that's a weird move, but I guess that's something. Is Hillary Clinton known for like doing war crimes in Guatemala? Is that part of her little portfolio?
I mean, do we count things Bill Clinton did when he was president?
I mean, I'm not counting it. It was.
She did do a coup in Honduras. As Obama's Secretary of State.
Oh yeah, maybe that is what they were going for. I don't know. How intentional do you guys think that was?
I don't know.
How long has this been in development, Hal?
800 years.
Because, if it was still in development around 2016, maybe they were trying to curry some favor with a certain incoming administration.
Oh, the certain criminal in chief,
Yeah, a certain dang Cheeto in chief.
6'3", 215.
Yeah. Well, that was back before he lost all that weight this week.
Oh yeah,
he used to have a different, but now he's really trim.
Now he's like as fit as a quarterback.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say about her? Yeah, the girl boss stuff. Oh, I did like. Part of me liked that it was almost kind of RoboCop a little bit. Like,
okay,
it wasn't. subtle about it the way that not like RoboCop's subtle. It wasn't subversive in the same way that RoboCop is kind of subversive about it in that Verhoeven way.
Right.
But I do think that it did decide to make the Omax cops, and that is not usually how they work.
Yeah, usually they're just like superhero killing robots, right?
Kind of, yeah. Well, the first OMAC is Captain America from the future who gets shot by a laser and gets a big mohawk and superpowers. And then when they redid it, it's like a virus that takes over your body, turns you into a big robot guy. Or like not even robot guy. Sometimes it's robotic, but
like
sometimes
a cable virus.
Yeah, like
the techno virus.
Techno virus, yeah, something like that. Because it's like it is technology. Its brother eye will like give you get OMAC'd,
right?
But like it doesn't look like technology-y because the main guy that is the OMAC from the comics, not the one from the original one, but the most recent one, just looked like a big blue Hulk with a mohawk. Well, I guess that's not the most recent one because there's probably another one, but one of the more recent ones. Carapax is his own guy, by the way. That's just a man that gets sucked into the computer and turned into a robot. But you know, just pick the name that kind of fits with the guy you've already decided to do, and it's fine as long as the guy is cool. Whatever.
Yeah, honestly, the names are meaningless.
And Victoria is usually brother or something like that. There is no Victoria Cord in the comics.
Yeah, and there's no Jenny Cord either.
And there probably won't be one in the DC. I'm just going to take a wild guess and say that's the retcon that we get in the when Blue Beetle shows up in the future. Because I think they'll want a younger Ted Cord who is around the same age as their Blue Beetle, who I also think will be on the youngish side, who doesn't have a kid. Like, I don't think they'll want him to have a child.
That makes
sense.
Well,
in the comics, where hilariously Victoria Cord has shown up before this movie because this movie took so long to come out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like 7 months ago they introduced Victoria Cord in the comics, and it was supposed to be after the movie, but
that's funny.
I love that.
But you look at her and you're like, well, they clearly did model her on Susan Sarandon, but for whatever reason they made her in her like late 20s.
Yeah,
like Rocky Horror Picture Show. Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, and the Ted Cord is also there and about that young.
Oh yeah, she does look young. Like it is. Yeah. Huh.
So
interesting.
You might have a pretty solid prediction there, Nando. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I think that makes it kind of not fit. Besides the mention, because we get a name drop of Superman, Batman, but also Flash. And I wouldn't be surprised if this universe does not have a Flash in it yet when we get there. But I do think Batman and Superman will be public figures, so that line probably won't be a problem. What else was interesting about this? I mean, I don't even think we have to ask the question.
What question?
Oh.
Was it woke?
Are we not asking?
This is about as woke as a superhero movie gets because the bad guy is white, and that's like woke city, baby.
Someone illegal immigrants are portrayed as having the possibility of being good people.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let me revise that. Are portrayed as being people.
That's right. Yeah. Although Hillary Clinton is bad guy, but it's like if you go anti-woke enough, you come back around to woke. Like that is, I could see that being the super woke opinion. In fact, I guess all I would have needed is one line from Victoria Cord where she says super predators or something. That's what we're doing. Okay, good. Glad we're all on the same page, movie.
Or if she was like, America is already great.
Yeah.
Oh,
is this deplorable Reyes family? Am I right?
God, if she had said that.
You know what this sounds like to me? Everyone sounds to me like the sound of freedom.
Oh no! This Blue Beetle, he's kidnapping all of our children. Who can say why?
Well, listen, I think I think making jokes at the expense of Hillary Clinton sometimes very funny. And I don't think she kills and disappears people and stuff like that. But someone in Twitter, when I said, like, I think that was what they were going for, was like, that explains what happened to Ted Cord. And I'm like, you're right.
Oh, no.
It's just such a weird thing. I've never seen a character with that hairstyle before, like in a movie that's not trying to be about that. But this one's not, maybe. what other things are woke about it?
Okay. Oh, so this is weird. The Carapax, he is like, is he woke? What did he do things in his country? I guess he was kidnapped as a child. Oh my God, is it woke because they're groomers?
Oh,
Is she a
Hillary
groomer?
Clinton is kidnapping children. Man, if we had seen him training in the basement of a pizza place, then
Oh my God.
that would have been something.
Yeah. I mean,
Shit.
yeah, and that does seem like something George Lopez's character would believe in this movie. You know, I don't know if he'd be quite like, I guess he wouldn't be a Pizzagator, but I do think he's all in all the conspiracy theories. So I think you could convince him of something like that. Do you know Hillary Clinton and Batman are kidnapping kids together?
Oh,
They're
God.
doing something with them, making them into super soldiers. I don't know.
Did you know that Batman is kidnapping children and forcing them to be his sidekicks and dress up in bright, colorful outfits?
Yeah. I love the idea. This doesn't come up in this movie, obviously, because it would. It doesn't. I'm trying to think of when this has ever happened in any of these movies, but they never do it because they can't get more than one Robin. But I do love the idea of someone being like, I'm pretty sure that's a different kid. What happened to that last kid? Like,
oh no.
yeah, don't anybody
Has
ask
anyone
him.
seen Jason?
Yeah, Batman got real mad because Robin got shorter. I don't know. It's confusing.
Hey, here's a genuine comics question that I don't know the answer to.
Uh-huh.
Does the general public know that Nightwing used to be Robin?
I don't they have to because he becomes Nightwing when he is on the Teen Titans, and like, you know, on Tuesday he's Nightwing, and then on Wednesday, or on Tuesday's Robin, and then on Wednesday he becomes Nightwing, and he's still with the Teen Titans. So I have to feel like they'd put it together. Like, no one would be like, oh man, it sucks that Robin died. It's a good thing they got this Nightwing guy to replace him.
It was doing like a PR statement like, Robin will now be going by the identity Nightwing.
That's a good question. I don't know, because I did read this one not super long ago, because this is the Terra arc where Deathstroke, you know, like that famous arc is also where he becomes Nightwing, and they're definitely public figures enough that like this would be something people would know.
Yeah.
The question of like, because it's weird because he's not Robin, because when he's in Teen Titans, he's like, that's why he changed his name. Part of it is like, I'm not Robin anymore. Like, there's another guy that's Robin. This is just kind of my suit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you can't, like, it's weird that there were ever two of them. Like, I always think it's strange that the one of them doesn't just graduate and become a different guy immediately. Like, they were just like, let's keep doing Robin. But I don't know. I guess it works. I mean, the Flash is just the Flash again. Like, when you get Wally in that program, he just keeps that name and nobody cares. So, I don't know. I mean, it's weird.
Another guy is Grubin, by the way.
Speaking of that, it's weird that there's another Blue Beetle in this universe. Like,
two. There's so many.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. Just the idea of a Blue Beetle, like, starting this universe with Blue Beetle is so strange. That's not what they're doing, but that is kind of what happened by accident.
I mean, yeah, like this is supposed to be in. Well, they're saying this is in the new continuity, right?
Yeah, kind of. Like I said, they're saying the character is in the new continuity. As for how much of the movie is, that's up for debate.
If this was like, they were waiting for like some kind of reception where it's like, oh, if it was the best, it's like, it's all in. You all guys all love Jenny Cord. She's in.
Yeah.
100%.
I do want
she
to
would have
say
been a new Darcy from Thor or something, where like, no matter how much she really doesn't matter to this plot, we're gonna find a way. It's all about Jenny.
I want to say the thing with Jaime and Jenny, I'm not giving it any awards, but you know, the end when they kissed each other, I was like, these are two people who want to kiss each other, and the bar has gotten so low that that's notable.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think part of it is like for the whole movie, like it really is the second thing this character does is like kind of flirting with her or like whatever, when she gives him the number and the sister's like, ooh, you got this girl's number. And he's like, I don't know, man, this is a lot. Like maybe she wants to date me or maybe I just get a job. I do feel like a lot of the times in these movies, the whole love interest thing is something that gets thrown in the middle of the second act or whatever. And it doesn't feel like you just get enough time with them. But yeah, I mean, I also like that they looked at her Instagram. I thought that was great.
That
I
was
don't know
yeah.
why that really resonated with me.
Keep it
It
modern.
just felt
Yeah.
real, you know?
Yeah, that's
You-
what you would do. You would check to see if she's a boyfriend in her Instagrams, and then that would, yeah,
You'd be like, wait, she's a billionaire? Oh my god.
right. I mean, yeah, it's weird. Not weird, I guess, but I'm surprised they didn't change it to something else, to like Luther Graham or something like that.
Did you see that there was a LexCorp building near
There
a
was,
Cornelius
yeah.
building?
Yes.
There were just so many fucking buildings. It was really hard. I need to pause that movie and look at what all the logos were, because some of them were from real companies that I'm assuming paid money to have their names in neon lights. I'm almost positive like Qualcomm or something like that was there, but then a
Oh,
bunch of them were
nice.
definitely fake. And I don't know which was which.
Yeah, like there was this
I
one
appreciate
company called
sometimes you-
Apple. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what a generic name. There's no way that was real.
Bigger than Cord Industries.
I mean, they might buy Cord Industries. Cord Industries gets bought and stuff. That's the thing about Cord Industries. And the thing I do love, maybe my favorite line, it's George Lopez and Blue Beetle stuff, is when they describe Blue Beetle as like Batman, but like not as good. That really is what he is.
Yeah.
Like, he's okay, you know.
He's trying.
He'll
you know?
save your life, but he's not gonna like save the planet. But sometimes
Right.
that's all you need.
Well, that's what we have the Justice League for.
Yeah.
Although it's weird if the Justice League is a thing, because the way they're like, oh, like Batman has Gotham, Superman has Metropolis, as if like he never leaves Metropolis, and Batman never leaves like Gotham. Flash has Central City, Green Lantern has Coastal City. What else?
Shazam
Who's-
has Philadelphia.
Yeah. Booster Gold has, you know,
The future.
Yeah.
yeah, Cincinnati or something.
Yeah.
Whatever city would take that poor soul. I'm not surprised Booster Gold wasn't in this. I'm surprised there wasn't some little kind of oblique reference to him.
Little reference.
Yeah.
Like
Some
a
sort of, like-
deactivated what's his little robot buddy's name?
Skeets.
Little deactivated
Yeah.
Skeets in the Beetle cave or something.
That or like because he's a former football player, like a trading card or something for Michael Carter,
Mm.
or like just, you know, a news report of some guy who showed up and says he's from, like, that would be what it is. It'd be like George Lopez would be talking about conspiracies and he'd be like, did you see there's like a Loch Ness monster and Sasquatch and that blonde guy who says he's from the future or something like that.
Yeah, that would have been good, actually. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I do think part of it is if that line was in there, they would have cut it, because they're gonna do Booster Gold, and I'm sure they want the public
Yeah.
like slate as clean as possible. But
What do we call him? Doctor Strange?
yeah,
That's taken.
it's not taken in this one. He's Doctor Strange now.
What's funny
Um,
about that is that they do, as in the MCU, they also still mention Doctor Strange before he exists.
That's true.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I mean,
In Winter Soldier, yeah.
yeah. He's pretty, I mean, but that's just a part of the movie where they're trying to strategically kill all the military targets and a surgeon or something.
Yeah.
A very full of himself surgeon.
Well, maybe he was in Carmitage then.
Yeah, I don't
it's-
know. I feel like they've nailed down everything in the MCU on the timeline except for when he went to Carmitage. I don't
Yep.
think there's any good explanation for when that is. So maybe, I don't know. I did want to ask the two things that I heard were added or changed. First one, the dad didn't die in the original script.
I also heard
What?
that.
I can see it. It feels kind of like they all could have just been around for the big fight. I don't think a character needed to die. He seemed pretty motivated to not be killed by Victoria
true.
Court at that moment.
I do think it ended up being good for the movie, though.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I think it was okay. I wish they didn't do the same thing as Guardians of the Galaxy did.
Well,
but
Yeah,
Sure.
you want another
Can't
heavy
help
scene
themselves,
or-
yeah.
The specific way they did that, it's a little silly that it's another thing in this movie that's from another movie. But I think the idea of the dad dying in that low moment is not bad.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It felt very, if anything, it feels very, what's his name? It's very No Way Home, right? Like that's pretty much the same beat that we get in when Aunt May is killed in the end of the second act to like really kick things into gear. But yeah, it's mostly, I mean, he is very Spider-Man-y as well. What was the other thing that changed? Oh, the post-credit scene. When Ted Kord is like, I'm Ted Kord, you guys, Ted Kord is alive. Originally, there were rumors that was going to be Jason Sudeikis. and he was going to be playing the Ted Kord in this universe. I'm pretty sure that wasn't who was in that recording. And there's one kind of picture of him or something where you can go like, I can see how that character maybe is Jason Sudeikis, but isn't yet.
Well, the painting is very like impressionistic. It's not like, photorealistic, so you could get away with casting anybody after that.
Absolutely.
Ooh, could it be Jason Statham?
I hope so.
Could it be Michael Clark Duncan?
Well, I mean, Christopher Reeve just came back for The Flash, so
oh god,
I'm not gonna say no. And it could definitely be Jason Statham, except he's gonna be busy tied up in Meg sequels for the rest of his life because those won't stop making money, and his character can't die. So, yeah, unless Meg and Blue Beetle cross over, and that's where he's been, because we never find out where he was. Maybe he's off in China fighting a Meg. Fighting King Shark and his army of Megs or something.
Could be.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Meg King Shark crossover.
Or Aquaman. Go. Yeah, maybe that's what this new Aquaman movie is. It ends where Jason Statham, because they had to rewrite it because now none of this is canon anymore. Jason Statham picks up a big harpoon and shoots Jason Momoa's face off with it. Like, Chum, you're dead.
I mean, why not?
Fuck you. Yeah, any other thoughts about this movie?
You know what? I think there might be a sliver of hope out there for the DCEU. I really do.
You think they're going to do it again? You think they're going to try? You know what? That Blue Beetle movie that made no money that people kind of liked, I think we should scrap all this James Gunn stuff. Let's sell it to Netflix like all the nerds online want. Sounds like something they would say.
Listen.
Well, okay.
They've rested this universe on slimmer hopes.
That's a good point.
Well, all right, here's one for you. This is a bigger, broader than the movie, just like a DC point in general. Like, we're theoretically at some point getting Aquaman, right? Maybe.
Yes, it may be out now, and they're just not telling us. I'm not convinced we'll even find out.
Okay, what is the next one after that?
It depends if you count like the Joker 2, but it's probably the Joker 2. Folia do, that's right. Although I've heard rumors that that's going to be changed.
I want core in universe, like DC movie.
So then it's Superman. However, Creature Commandos, which is in universe, will come first, I believe.
Okay,
but that's a show and it's animated, but it does count.
But that Superman movie we're getting what in like 4 years?
2025.
No, get out of here. It literally impossible.
There's that's what they're saying. I believe it. I think if the strike ended today, they probably have a script. I think they said they wrote a script for it and they shoot it. They got a year and a half to make it. They killed 15, 16 VFX people, whatever, but like they'll do it if they means they get their Superman movie out. So
there's no way. I guess we'd have to be predictions for 2025. Yeah. But if I get to, I'll be like, there's no way. If that movie's slated to come out, like, there's no way.
I think if the actors and writer strikes end this year, then I think we get a Superman movie in 2025. I could see it getting delayed to like November of 2025, but I do think that they want it to be a summer release. And I don't know. I think they'll just move heaven and earth to get it made. I could see them even doing pre-production on it now that isn't actor and writer stuff, like VFX rendering.
VFX stuff, yeah. But like, okay, let's say then it is like late 2025. We're gonna have like a 2-ish year drought with like no DCEU movie content. Like that's rough.
I can tell you what might be rougher.
What?
This year.
A year full of DCEU content. Yeah.
Yeah, that nobody likes. Like I mean, to be fair, people like this one, but like I think after this year really does feel like they're just getting it out of their system. Then we're getting a year to chill. Joker 2 will probably make $1 billion because that's the rules. And then they get to start fresh. I honestly think it's good that these are all kind of not like bombing, but like I do think if Flash was a hit, it would be complicated. It is so easy for them to be like, well, we're not doing that anymore, you guys. We're doing a new thing because nobody's going to fight them.
You hated all the other stuff we did.
Yeah. Like, and I even think it's teeing them up for like a, Man of Steel is good. And wow, DC, they're back on top again. This is the redemption story we've all been waiting for. Like, if I were James Gunn, I would start editing mistakes into Aquaman. Just make it as bad as possible. Like,
I have a feeling they're not going to have to work too hard for that.
It's a good point. Yeah. What about you, Diggins? Any other thoughts about Blue Beetle? I like the suit. What do you guys think of the suit?
I liked it overall.
It was fine. I've never been a big fan of the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle suit, to be honest. So I think it is a faithful recreation of a suit I don't like that much.
Yeah, it's tricky because it's an Iron Man suit, but in the movies they just pretend Iron Man has a teeny tiny head so that the Iron Man helmet isn't humongous. But in this, they had a real suit that Joel Maridueña was wearing throughout the production, at least parts of it, and like it looks like the size that helmet would be, but at the same time, I don't know. I've never liked the balance of that. I mean, the Injustice game is worse, but like in the comics, I think it usually looks a little bit more natural.
I have a complaint. I'd like to. We didn't really mention this. The final fight with Carapax, it's too dark.
Yeah.
And they didn't solve that problem. And I thought they had it with the Suicide Squad, but god damn it, they still, man, just having to make the darkest of dark final fight scenes.
Yeah, it's funny because we got Flash and Shazam this year, and both of them are pretty bright for most of their fight scenes. For better, for worse, but like it has a choice. It's what they're doing. And with Blue Beetle, yeah, just
back to basics.
We're back to dark because all the fights were in the dark too.
Carapax.
The other one where they're fighting in the parking lot is also in the dark.
They didn't have enough examples of bright fight scenes in superhero movies that they could base those parts of this movie off of, like they did with every other superhero part of the movie. So they had to make it dark.
That's a great point.
That's true. Spit facts, son. Spit facts.
Yeah.
Patooey.
So
All right. Well, that's Blue Beetle for you. We're three quarters of the way through the DC 2023 fire sale or whatever we're calling this. And
everything must go.
Everything must go. All the characters must be done, except for him. But the rest of them probably. We'll see. I do think even if everything gets pushed, Aquaman does get released this year. That's my knock-on prediction. Yeah,
just to get it over with.
Yeah, because they want it done. They don't think it'll. I mean I don't know. I mean, early reports are always all over the place, but I've heard not great things about Aquaman 2. So I could see.
Were those not great things you heard from people who watched Aquaman 1?
And well, that's the thing is this is the one report where the guy was like, it sucks. It's bad. It's just a lot of action and silly bullshit. And everybody's like, no, that means it's good though. So I don't know what that guy is on.
Why don't they pull a Batgirl and not release it for the tax write-off or whatever?
I mean,
well, DJ, what you don't understand is that the lead of this one is a man.
That is true.
Yeah.
The man we all care about.
Yeah, exactly. One that's cool and sweet and makes money. I mean, this movie the first one made $1 billion. So I would not be surprised if they're just like, fuck it, we'll see. Maybe this one will make $1 billion too. Maybe it's just the title Aquaman is what it takes to get people in theaters. Doesn't matter if the movie's
Vin Diesel doesn't have enough clout to destroy his career yet.
That's right.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I forgot about that. Jason's having a year. You guys want to get to our classic segment?
Let's do it.
Let's recommend some things. DJ, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk some TV, we're gonna talk some anime. I know I mentioned Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 premiered about a month and a half. And that was the background Gojo arc. Next week, the next arc of season 2 is premiering, the Shibuya incident arc, and they released a trailer a couple days ago, and it looks fucking sick. I am so fucking hype for the rest of season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen. You should all watch it. It's amazing. I want to throw that out there again. I know I did this like month and a half ago, but it's cool. it's I just have to put that out there because I'm so hyped from the trailer. I'll show you guys after. You won't know what this is, but you'll be like, yeah, fucking hype trailer.
I'll see the pighead boy and be like, the pighead boy.
That's Demon Slayer.
Oh, right. You said Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know. All anime sounds the same to me.
I think I did open it by saying I'm still going through Demon Slayer, but anyway, yeah. That's Michelle's favorite, Inosuke. She loves the pighead boy.
In Jujutsu Kaisen?
No, in Demon Slayer.
I know. I was extending the bit.
We did it. We did the thing. Yeah. Have you ever seen him without the pighead?
No, and I don't want to.
Oh no, he's beautiful.
Then I want to see it even less.
Oh, no. It's like a whole thing. Okay, so I want to talk about something else that I want to talk about with you guys. I want to talk about Ahsoka, the show that premiered on Disney Plus this week.
Oh, DJ, I don't think you understand. This is the part where we recommend things.
Okay, all right. Now listen. I'm reading the trades, and I get it that it's hard for following up on Andor with more from the Dave Filoni verse, which maybe some people are done with the Dave Filoni.
Not even following up Andor with more from the Dave Filoni verse, but with the personal pet project of Dave
with
Filoni
most
himself.
from the Dave Filoni verse,
like the center of the Filoni verse.
Yes. This is like the nucleus, right? Yeah. This is like his child. Now, here's what I will say. I think an issue with the show is that if you have not seen Star Wars Rebels, you're fucked. Like, that's just it. It's because this shouldn't even be called like Ahsoka. It should be called like Rebels Part 2.
Yeah.
Because it like picks up from where Rebels left off, right? And like, if you don't know that, Ezra convinced the space whales to whisk him and Thrawn away to save the galaxy from Thrawn, then you're like, why do I give a fuck that Sabine is looking after
DJ, you don't have to go that far. If you don't know who the fuck Ezra Bridger is, then get fucked.
But listen, the reason I'm recommending it, and I think it's more of a discussion point. Like I enjoyed it, but like I'm a Rebels guy. Like I watched it, I liked it. The first episode's like a little bit jangly keys. It's like, oh look, there's Hera played by the delicious Mary Elizabeth Winstead, so like that's a huge plus for me. And I think she's great. Obviously, I've covered that on the podcast before. And then I like the actress playing Sabine. And Nando and I talked about this briefly before, that you watched the first episode and I watched the first episode. You said that nothing happened. Like, I get it, but I feel like this was like a lot of setup, right? You got your Ray Stevenson. See what's going on with him. By the way, rest in power, Ray Stevenson. And I think we're getting set up. I think this could be good. I am hopeful, but I worry that a lot of the audience is going to be lost for when like Thrawn and Ezra eventually come back. We got to talk about space whales and like the governor, Mr. Krabs. Because like he has a whole part in this too.
He was in it.
Thrawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And fun fact, he voiced the character in Rebels.
So I've heard.
I love that. I think people are going to be a little bit lost there, but like for me, like a Rebels fan, and like I'll say it, I'm a fan of the Filoniverse. He didn't fuck it up like Kathleen Kennedy did, or like J.J. Abrams did, or in some people's opinions like Rian Johnson did. So
people who are wrong, yeah.
Well, I know we've been down this road, but like I think he's made some good stuff, and there's nothing that I've seen here that leads me to believe that Ahsoka would be bad. And I would like to yield the rest of my time to Nando to retort and tell me why I'm wrong.
Listen,
it's just kind of boring. I don't know. I don't think it's not a terrible show, but also it's just like there's a scene that I tweeted about this maybe like an hour ago. There's a scene where Sabine sits down with a circle and just turns it like a Rubik's Cube to solve some sort of puzzle or something. And they show you the whole thing with no editing. And it looks like you're watching a video game. And then I realized all this show is like a video game because the characters just stand around and then all they have their arms crossed and then they talk to each other. And you know how like this happens for me when I play Baldur's Gate, where like the computer hasn't fully rendered my guy yet. So there's this weird little awkward gap, almost like it's two news anchors talking over delay before like I jump in and talk in the next scene. Like that's what it is in every line of the show. There's just this weird pausing. I don't know what they're going for or what. I don't know. But it's not the worst show ever. I didn't think the lightsaber fighting was particularly good, though. Like, I don't know. It's no Rebel Moon. That's what I'll say. The future of Star Wars.
Did you watch it?
I mean, I watched the trailer for Rebel.
I was going to say, it's not out.
Oh, right.
It's not out. It comes out in December. Trust me, you'll know.
You'll know because we'll be doing it.
Yeah,
we
without a doubt.
And then we'll play the video game that goes along.
And it's two movies. I don't know if you saw this. It's part 1 and part 2 is in like April because this is the year of part 1s. I don't know why, but every movie has to be a part 1.
Yeah, and we're not getting Doom part 2 this year.
Nope.
Okay, so like that's my. So because I've seen that like people are kind of down on the show. Is it because no one has seen Rebels? And it's like, I don't want to watch more Rebels. I don't really like care for this Ahsoka character. or is it that people are just like out on Dave Filoni? It's like, no, you don't get to do your own Star Wars thing. This stop it. We're kind of done with you.
I think it's because this show is kind of boring. I don't have a problem with Rebels. I don't love it, but like I've seen enough of it that like I was kind of, there were parts I was excited about, but I just feel like it's like not just, it's so far, and I'm only one episode in. I haven't watched the second one. Just didn't really feel like a lot was happening. It reminded me of a show from not too long ago where everybody sat down the whole time and nothing happened. So I'm not excited for the Ahsoka to inject herself with all the Force and blast a big hole through Ray Stevenson or whoever this is going to end. But like, yeah, it didn't quite give me Secret Invasion vibes, but it did not give me not Secret Invasion vibes either.
Okay.
All right, well, I just want to say, for my part,
yeah,
you know, people I trust say the Filoniverse is good and like Rebels is a great show and whatnot, and I'm sure that's all true. My problem with the Dave Filoni stuff, and the reason why I have such antipathy towards it, is because it feels like after Rebels was made, like either you're in or they don't care about you. Like,
I totally agree.
No effort is made to bring you in if you're not already in.
Yes, I totally agree, and that is shitty. But it's hard because like there is like good like content there, and he's like written good characters. But like I agree, it's like I can see people just being like mad. It's like, why am I watching this shit if like you don't even like care about me as an audience member? Because you could argue like Marvel kind of makes the effort ish
when it's
when they feel
good.
like it.
Yeah, and it works like when it works. But then sometimes you watch a show and you're like, who is this for? Who would even care about these characters? And it's like you have to be a really big fan of them already to be invested in, you know.
Which at least I think the audience is there, and like I will self-select as like I am that audience. So
I don't think
that's why I'm recommending.
They definitely tried with the Mandalorian to set up Ahsoka. I do think this was kind of a problem because I was watching it with Hannah, and I was like, hey, like before we started, because I know she doesn't watch like Rebels or anything like that. I was like, what do you know about this Ahsoka character? Like going into it, and her main thing was like I think she trained with Luke or something. And I'm like, that's what the Mandalorian told you, but that's actually the opposite of what she did. Or like, and if that did happen, it was like a weekend for her. The Anakin stuff is not even really brought up in the first episode, maybe once or twice. But like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know how they could fix it or like what they could do to bring us on board, us non-Filonites. But it's something. They would need to do something.
They don't care to is the problem, to Diggins' point. It is kind of like a fuck you.
I mean, it's a question too of like how much like can this succeed without us, the casuals, as it were.
Yeah, because like if you look at Andor, right, they put in the work to like make sure like whoever you were in your Star Wars journey, you could be brought along. So
yeah, including have never seen them, which is at least one person I know who's like, yeah, no, I liked it though.
Andor is just like a good show that like exists in a Star Wars universe and uses that shorthand in clever ways, but never needs it to be understood.
Yeah, like I think the pitch or the trouble for Ahsoka, and I would love for Dave Filoni to do this, or anybody that was behind this show, which I think is just mostly him. Like I think he wrote most of it. I'm sure he had a room, but.
I don't know. If you ask the AMPTP, he didn't need any kind of room.
That's true. He's a professional.
Give him a little mini room and he's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like a pitch for this show that doesn't use the word Rebels or anything like that. Just tell me what the show is, because it's just her kind of wandering around and going and meeting characters. But like, and it's about these other guys and stuff. I just wish I wish there was something.
You know what it is, Nando? Is the closest I could get. Hey, remember the old Star Wars books that had Thrawn in them? We got him. That's like as close as I could get.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is like they teased Thrawn by like saying his name a couple times, but I really do think they missed. Like they had the whole Mandalorian show, and they talked about him a couple times. Show him once. He's the blue guy. It'll really stick out. Like you don't have to. It could just be a picture, but like
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
In Rebels. Fucking great.
Oh yeah,
he's fucking great.
I've seen him in Rebels and he's good. I've seen like that's the thing. The bits of Rebels that I have seen are cool, and like it does some things where it's like, I've always wanted to see the droid rebellion. Oh, they did that a little bit there. That was good. Yeah, it's just like not. Also, I don't know. I feel like some of these characters as human actors is weird. I don't dislike Mary Elizabeth Winstead or.
How dare
you? I know, right? But like, I don't know. It's weird because they're cartoons sometimes.
Yeah, I get it. I that is one thing that was kind of jarring.
I think the Sabine is good. Like, I think she maps about as well as any of these can.
Yeah.
I think the Ezra is probably going to be my biggest problem, just from that hollow projection thingy we saw.
Yes.
But like, whatever. That's just what we're going with.
And if they somehow bring Kanan back,
I know.
I can see it. I could see it.
Yeah, I wonder. Did they do him in Bad Batch? Did he have a cameo in Bad Batch?
Did he?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, I know. I think you're right. You're right.
So like,
I'm getting timelines all fucked up, but yeah, he did.
And Freddie Prinze Jr. seems pretty connected, so I wouldn't be surprised. Because also they did time travel in one of these recently, so whatever, he can come through the time door.
Table.
Yeah.
So, all right, those are my recs. I'll shut up now. But yeah,
we'll probably end up doing Ahsoka, especially if all the movies get delayed. So.
Oh, don't do that to Diggins. No. I can't.
That's what the NFL eliminator pool could be for.
No, movies only, right? Movies only.
It's like a movie, though. I mean, especially if it gets shorter and shorter every episode, which seems to be the plan. Like the third episode's like 30 minutes long. The first one was like an hour. So
I mean,
it might be feature length.
If they really want to make me suffer by making us watch a show, they'd pick Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
That's big true. Yeah.
I mean,
at least in Ahsoka, sometimes a lightsaber would show up and a part of me would be like, I think lightsabers are cool.
You would think that, right? Or that's what you'd expect. However, you watch some of those lightsaber scenes and let me know what you think.
No, I'm not even saying the lightsaber fights are good or that those scenes are good. I'm just saying there is some small part of me that sees a lightsaber and is like, lightsabers are cool.
That's fair.
Big facts.
Hello, is it time for my
recommendations? It is, yes, Diggins, please give us your recs.
I'm gonna just go real quick here. I watched a couple movies this week. I'm gonna start with the one that's bad. It's called Gamera versus Giron.
Oh, it's bad?
I mean, it's bad in a good way. It's okay. Good bad. This is an old, monster movie. If you don't know Gamera is a Japanese monster like Godzilla, but he's a big turtle man that can use jets to fly. He's friend to children is his main thing.
Yeah.
This is I don't know what number Gamera movie this is, but or Gamera, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. But in this one, a couple of kids find a spaceship and go to Terra, the planet on the opposite side of the sun from Earth, where there's some sexy alien babes who want to eat their brains. And also a big monster with a knife for a head named Giron.
And you said this show is good, based on the way you just described it. It sounds pretty good.
I said it's good. It's objectively bad, but it's bad in a very good and fun way.
Nice.
Also, I was wrong when you said Gamera. I thought you were talking about, because I know they're doing a cartoon of Gamera on Netflix.
Oh no, this is an old.
I didn't realize you were talking about an old thing, and also this thing isn't out yet, so I don't know what I thought it was.
Oh yeah, this is an old Gamera movie. You might have seen this one on Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's the one where the one kid keeps talking about how the perfect world would have no war or traffic accidents. And at one point, Gamera does a horizontal bar routine from the Olympics.
Whoa.
And also, the monster he's fighting has a big knife for a face and shoots shurikens out of his nostrils. It somehow looks cheaper and more low rent than the cheapest looking Godzilla movie. It looks like they spent $10 on all the effects. The premise is absurd. And like, for some reason, these kids know a lot about space and physics and keep like justifying everything that's happening. Where they're like, yes, of course, we must be moving so fast because otherwise this thing would be happening. Or they get on the spaceship and they're in space and they're like, wow, this ship can generate gravity because normally we would be floating around once we're in space. And I'm like,
know-it-alls.
These are like 8-year-old children. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And it's so badly translated. First of all, like the translation is bad. The effects are so cheap. Everything about it looks and sounds terrible, and that's what makes it so much fun. And then for a movie that is not dissimilar in spirit, but I think a little better in terms of intentionality of doing that, is a little movie called Creepshow. You guys know this one?
The name sounds familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
This is a horror movie anthology thing. It's like 5 like short horror films packaged together with like a loose framing device. That's kind of meant to be like a throwback / tribute to those old like 50s horror comic books that were like, here's a bunch of little short scary stories. The same sort of thing that like, you know, Elvira and the Crypt Keeper were kind of throwing back to.
Yeah, there's a guy in the cover of one of these looks kind of like the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
So it's a collaboration between George Romero and Stephen King, where they just made like 5, like I said, like short horror films, of varying ranges of like absolutely like ridiculous and meant to be funny to like actually somewhat serious and effective horror. They're all like kind of goofy, and have like really over the top like costumes and effects and stuff. But like I said, I feel like there's a little more intentionality in these than in Gamera, perhaps, where it's like it's meant to be that kind of cheesy where it's sort of funny at the same time. And I think it does it super well. I think I'm not a huge fan of the last story, but I think the first 4 are all great. So, you know, that's a good enough hit rate for me to recommend this movie. But yeah, no, it's called Creepshow. So, you know, you just basically 2 horror legends working together to make a bunch of short stories, which are gleefully jumping back at, you know, over the line between something that is too silly to take seriously and, you know, actually effective, just over and over again in lots of fun ways. So yeah, that's Creepshow. Great movie. What about you, Nando? Anything to recommend?
You know, you'd think so. I watched Ahsoka, and it's fine.
We know how you
listen.
feel.
Some people love it; it's like their favorite thing, and if you love it, then that's fine. But also, I don't know. I'll give it time. I'll watch all of them probably.
I mean, you watched all of Secret Invasion, so
I know, and I loved it. Every single minute of it was thrilling. And so this, I mean, this might have a Secret Invasion style twist built into it too. I don't know, DJ, have you seen anything about that?
I have not.
One of the characters might be a different character. Ooh. Yeah.
Lovely.
I was gonna say I watched a lot of Modern Family. That's just my go-to. I'm in season 7, the horny season. I don't know if there's like a consensus about this, but like every episode is about 2 people wanting to bone or something. It's great. I'm also watching, me and Hannah watched 2 seasons so far out of 3 of a show called Physical on Apple TV Plus, which is like Rose Byrne plays an exercise magnate, kind of like not exercise, what's it called, like fitness guru in the 80s. And she also has, I believe, God, I should know this. I think she's bulimic. That's like her story. So it's like, it's about that. It's about her kind of creating this weird empire at the time that doesn't really exist, of like kind of what Richard Simmons and those guys are doing. And at the same time dealing with all the bulimia, and her husband's a real piece of work and he's trying to run for public office. I don't know. It's a pretty interesting show. It's pretty weird. And it's not what I expected, but I think it's fun enough, and it's not a total bummer. It gets real sometimes, but like for the most part, it's pretty, like, it's not like watching, you know, Game of Thrones or something where, you know, you're gonna have a horrible time. We do decompress with a Modern Family every so often, so that does help. Yeah, I want to say that's it. I know I've been meaning to watch Elemental because I know that's vaudable now, or at least that's what I've
It
seen.
is?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I haven't done that
Is
yet.
it
It's on my
vaudable
list.
or is it on Disney Plus?
Vaudable. I believe I don't think it's on Disney Plus yet, but I think you can buy it. Which is interesting because like it's also still in theaters because it's been pretty like successful. Just over a really weird long period of time. So,
Well, when a movie is actually good, it can have a long sustained success over a long period of time, as opposed to a big opening weekend that immediately drops to nothing.
yeah. So there's that. Oh, you know what else I watched? I watched Oppenheimer again. Still good. Still insane. Like it is the most Christopher Nolan any movie has ever been. Even to the point where
Oh, sorry, I was going to ask, did you and your partner have to do research and discuss the Florence Pugh boobs?
oh my god, yeah, I laid my head on her shoulder very quietly. That was so funny. No, but we did both. Not everybody, a lot of giggles in my theater during that scene. I think it's warranted. But no, the other thing I realized that I hadn't noticed before is, he does this all the time, Christopher Nolan, but like the first hour, every time we meet a new character, it's exactly the same way. Oppenheimer or whoever, usually Oppenheimer, walks into a room and this character is doing something with their back turned to us, and someone says, Heisenberg, and then that character turns around so you get to see which famous actor it is, and then they walk over to Oppenheimer. Every single character. It's really, really weird. But it's the most dramatic way to introduce a guy. So of course that's what Christopher Nolan's gonna do. But yeah, still good. Watched the 70mm one of it before. I don't know. Meg takes all screens or whatever. It's going away soon. So if you're near one of the 20 theaters that can play it in that format, it's pretty cool. But we've already talked about it, so not gonna wreck it. Next week, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
I mean,
so we have two options. I think it's either Gran Turismo or Revengeance, Defiance.
Is
Retribution.
that out? Retribution.
It came out this weekend, I believe.
Oh, Get Out, cool.
That's why we have two options.
I don't know.
I know.
I don't want to watch either of them, but I think one of them might be funnier than the other. But I don't know what that is.
I'm so morbidly curious about the Gran Turismo.
Me too.
And we have a thing with video game movies.
Yeah,
that's like one of our niches. So
that's true.
We're a bunch of
we
big fucking nerds.
Goddamn right.
And this is the year they're good, kind of, maybe.
Who
I memean, Twisted Metal, man. You guys have either watched it yet?
No, but I've heard from more people than you that it's good.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of good. Like the more time I spend with it, the more I'm like, I really like that. We could also do Golda, the Golda Meir biopic.
Oh my god!
Currently rocking a strong 52 on Rotten Tomatoes. So we could do. We could get our shit together and do Sound of Freedom. You know, we really want to.
No!
We really want to
appreciate the troops right
now, or whatever that movie's about. I still don't know. I want to say there's a big streaming movie coming out too. Like a Netflix movie that like was kind of on my radar. Oh, we could do that movie where the king and the president are boyfriends or something. What's that movie that everyone's talking about now? Oh, God. You know what I'm talking about? It's like You, Me, and the Royal We or something like that. It's got a really long title, but it's like, it might be on Prime Video, actually, now that I think about it. But like, I wouldn't say it's like the big thing, but it is like a surprisingly larger thing than you would expect. It's like kind of like a Hallmark movie where like, I think that is the pitch. It's like the president's son starts dating the King of England or something.
You talking about Red, White, and Royal Blue?
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. So we could do that. I don't know if anybody has strong opinions. Does anything come out soon that we want to prep for?
Wasn't there something we talk about we could do prep for?
I mean, I don't know. Like,
I can't remember what it was, but there was something where we were like, "Oh, we never covered those. We could do prep for it."
It's
so
prep o'clock.
There's a Spy Kids movie coming out. There's a Saw movie coming out. That's something.
Oh, it might have been Saw.
Yeah, there's Paw Patrol, obviously. Expendables, that might have been it too. We have another one of those coming out soon. Yeah, I think that was probably it. Because I don't think I would suggest anybody watch Saw. Those movies are weird. But Expendables are kind of fun. And this new one had a trailer this week. Did either of you guys see that?
No.
The trailer is just this movie trying as hard as it can to be R-rated and convince you that it's R-rated, you guys. It's pretty funny. So that might be worth doing. I don't know. We'll take suggestions from people. Let us know what you guys think. Until then, DJ, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, check out Roses and Rejections. We've completed our run of the Bachelor charity season's over, so we're in like a middle like holding pattern until Golden Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise. So stay tuned. We're not sure what we're gonna do yet, but I'm sure it'll be amazing. So just stay tuned. Roses and Rejections on the Pop Break feed.
Cool. Diggins?
Nope. Nando?
Not really. I had a video about the weird take I might be making another Thor movie stuff, and a video about Rebel Moon on my Nando Cut channel, but no new Nando V Movies video. Probably next week. We'll see. But yeah, until next week, I've been at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. Love you.